actually, Sandy Paprone the or sang in Owusu to America, minimum Sandy Paprone. When you know, yet you ma Nanado, Ebenya Kudranet Mass. Because you know, FM station, me catch them say, and Kwamu in the Biakoka say, Mahamana, Ebese Ababi. Na enumufo eye ya adwene no nti otani ahoka me osange ni owusu to me na me koka sa Your Excellency Fabio
We don't have to borrow money from anywhere. Just toll the various sections of the road and we'll raise the money to do the roads in Ghana.
We refurbish all those toll booth structures to provide proper and decent washrooms, for instance, for the use by motorists, so that we advise them to desist from the practice that we see at times. You find out or you see cars stopping indiscriminately on the highway and people getting out to wee as we usually say it, urinating. You see men on the left, women on the right, or at times you see a man, a woman. It's all indecent. It's not a good practice.
This place would have been very busy by now, with traders dotted around this area doing their usual businesses, whilst the toll booth collectors attend to drivers to collect their tolls from them. But however, the narrative has changed after the announcement of the closure of all toll booths dotted around the country by the roads minister. It's about 9:48 p.m. here at the Tema Plaza toll booth. And this is the situation here. But let's get closer to see how the place is gradually deteriorating. This is how the inside of the building now looks. Dust. Definitely the computer is no more here and it is filled with dust, as you can see. So much dust. Cables all around and the lights and fan nowhere to be found in this very toll booth. Definitely it is the same with the other toll booths here. But then let's get closer to Bismarck, who is the security here, and find out from him how he has been manning the place. How have you been keeping the place safe?
It's not easy. It's not easy because the junkers have been fighting me to live here for them to have chance to go in and destroy the things inside of it. And even with that, they have stolen many things here. And I've been fighting, seriously. Fighting. Oh, the other time there was a military soldier, a military man who came to help me here. He was the one. But now, because of that incident, now the pressure is now down.
Talk about they stealing some items. What are some of the items that they've got away with?
Those irons.
The irons?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the air conditioning. They have stolen the air conditioning too. And at the same time, you saw that there was no fan in there.
Yes.
They have removed the fan. If it was not you, I have not been going in there, so I don't know. Right now that I have just said that.
You realize that the fan is
the fan is not
there.
We prefer the toll booth system than the e-levy because the e-levy is a cheat. We will all be cheated, and so we do not want it. The government just wants us to suffer.
This is the Ashaiman Toll Booth Plaza, and the place is totally dark. Unlike the Tema Toll Booth Plaza, which had a security man there. Here, there is no one here manning the place. We understand a lot of people have been attacked around this area. Prior to our arrival, we saw someone in that very building sleeping. When he got to see our cameras, he took to the hills. This is a looming danger for motorists who plow this stretch. Reporting for Metro News, Elvis Ando, Tema and Ashaiman, Tolbut Plaza, Accra.
We don't have to borrow money from anywhere. Just toll the various sections of the road and we'll raise the money to do the roads in Ghana.
You are now, even small money you send to yourself, the bank collect, everybody collect, e-levy, why? You know, it's terrible. Then go and read the Ghana Demographic Health Survey. Health outcomes, double disease burden. In 2024, young guys are getting even all kinds of lifestyle, plenty things. Healthcare service, if you don't have money, cash and carry. Quality of education, bobo, kids can't even spell properly. Class size, big. Then come and sit here and say, oh, we are doing it. We are, Nanado is doing, what? What's he doing? What is it? What are you saying? We feel it. What are you talking about? You do what? Because in the name of politics, who speak the truth? Because the person from our hometown. You don't get me. Or from your wherever. Let's be honest for once. The reason we are not doing well is because we are not honest as a citizen. Countries that do well, they value the truth. And truth is not just saying yes or no. Truth is looking for facts. You look for inquiry. That's why we go to school. Education is the search for truth. The truth about malaria, the truth about unemployment, the truth about currency depreciation, the truth about our own prejudice. Research is to find truth. So you push money into research, medicine, hypertension, research into cancer. That's truth. So societies that value truth, like Japan, they'll do better than you because you don't value truth. You get me? If you don't, you can pray, but that's not truth. If you don't value, societies that advance, they value truth. They spend money to ascertain the truth about their situation and they solve it, but you don't want to accept the truth. You don't want to accept the truth. You want to tell yourself you are the best and you believe it. The fact that you believe a lie is just delusion. Now you can be delusional. Now delusion means you are lying to yourself. You can lie to somebody, that's dishonest, but delusion is worse than dishonesty. Because delusion means you know you are wrong, but you believe, you convince yourself you are right. We are delusional. Ghana, Black Star of Africa for where? First country of Sub-Saharan. So what? Go and look at all the facts. Some guy did a video on Cote d'Ivoire. Go and look at the Cote d'Ivoire video. Look at the stadiums they are playing in. Look at the stadiums of football. Look at the parks. Is the parks in Cote d'Ivoire you are seeing? Is there anyone in Ghana like this? Even Accra Sports Stadium, they stopped that they are going to do music concerts in a stadium. You go and see nails on the floor and things. Our football is going bad. Then you get up and say, what are you talking about? We can't even compete in football. There's no grassroots, AstroTurfs everywhere. We've lost it. There's no commitment to excellence anywhere. People don't even read any properly. Stories are poorly written everywhere. We are just living, shouting every day, convincing ourselves that we have the first sub-Saharan African country for successful elections. You sit there, look at Senegal. Don't rest on your, let's get serious. Let's go back to truth. Speak the truth. Why are we failing? That's the thing. Let's go. Let's ascertain the truth. If you don't value truth, you can't advance. Societies that value truth, they will do well for their citizens. We are living a lie. If you live a lie, nature will resist you. Because the lie, you see, truth is reality. So the more you search for truth, the closer you get to reality. That's why some people have put research into things to solve their problems. We don't want to do that. We've thrown all our scientists to the background, all our professors, they are book long too much. We go on air. How can you advance? How can you advance? You are doing the discussion on the policy. When you are in power, it means everything you want to say is true. People have done research and they have told you the thing is wrong. You don't care because you have power. And you appoint some of your upstarts on social media to attack people who speak. Follow them with robots, bots and things. You get some money and you think you are doing something to yourself. When your child falls sick and you don't have ambulance, that's when you know that you lived a lie. That's what. So let's go for truth. That's the issue. If you don't have truth, you cannot succeed. And the truth starts with us being honest to the facts. The facts show that the economy is not doing well and the government has mismanaged it. Let's accept it. Let's accept it and stop all these big English.
Unleashing the power of relevant.
Always aspire for. But coming to the lecture, the question is it just another rhetoric or we'll say a game changer? From my point of view, I would say it's just another rhetoric, because let me just take you through the economic data before we even come to his own policies that he was outlining. If you look at the economic data, to a certain point in the lecture, I was just probably laughing in my head and wondering how the NDC is going to react, because the NDC or the opposition, they should rather be putting out their economic figures to let Ghanaians know that Bawumia is massaging some of these figures. Because if you look at the current economic figures with real GDP growth, we are currently declining. So how do you say the economy is doing well and you have performed better than we recorded in 2016? As at 2023 Q1, if you had a real GDP of 4.4%, Q2, it declined to 3.2%. Q3, it further declined to 2.1%. How do you describe such an economy as performing good enough? And that is excluding oil. If you come to including oil, it's the same thing. Q1, 2023, it was 3.3%. Q2, it declined to 3.2%. Q3, it further declined to 2.0%. Now, again, how do you say that with an inflation of 23.2% as at December 2023 is better than the inflation we recorded in 2016 December, which was 15.4%? How do you make such comparison and analysis to say that your economy is better than the previous? And look at food inflation. As at December 2023, food inflation was 28.7%. Now go back to December 2016, food inflation was 9.7%. So compare these two periods. Just looking at this, how do you say that 2023 Ghanaians are better off than they were in 2016 when all the economic indicators are showing otherwise? Look at it again, lending rate. Businesses are currently complaining in 2023 and 2024 because of the borrowing rate. As at December 2023, and this data that I'm reading, they are all from Bank of Ghana. Anyone interested could just go to Bank of Ghana and pull it up. As at November 2016, average lending rate was 32%. So businesses were able to borrow at this rate, averagely. Now, so as at December 2023, the average lending rate, that's the credit market rate, is now 33.75. So how do you compare 33.75% to 2016 figure of 32%? And remember that with interest rates and all that, even 1% rise in interest rate, it's a cost to businesses when they are borrowed. So I really don't know which economic figures Dr. Bawumia was quoting to say that the economy right now is better than the economy we had in 2016. Even the agriculture sector that he was talking of, since this quarter, agriculture sector has been on decline from Q1 all the way to Q3. It's been declining from 6.4 to 6.0 to 5.9. And by Q4, when it comes out, definitely it's still going to record a further decline. How do you say such a sector is performing? Industry, we don't even talk because industry is growing at negative. Q1, 2023, Q1, negative 2.6. Q2, negative 1.8. Q3, negative 4.3. So I was really a bit surprised, like how he was so excited and just talking as if, you know, we should award the NPP a gold of medals and award him a gold of medals. When all these indicators are pointing that the economy was better off, businesses were better off in 2016 than they are currently. Even your policy rate currently, December 2023, is 30%. Compare that to 2016, December, when it was 25.5%. So in all honesty, I would say that it's actually the NDC and John Mahama, they rather need to do an economic lecture to point out all these economic indicators. Because like if you keep letting one sector go, Ghanaians will begin to believe that. Meanwhile, they are all not true, according to the Bank of Ghana own data.
Right.
Anyone could check it. It's called, a bunch of data, but you could look through summary of economic and financial as well as other reports. They are all available on the Bank of Ghana website.
All right. So, Dr. Idrisu, we'll get into those details shortly. But let me also take the starting comments of Eko Assefuah here.
Always aspire for. But coming to the lecture, the question is it just another rhetoric or say a game changer?
That we make sure that happens. We've put in place a very first-class economic management team. I would even say world-class, because the Minister of Finance, the very known Wall Street banker, investment banker, really high achiever. The former Minister of Finance, who is deputy vice chair of the economic management team, Yao Safo-Mafo, he was voted at one time the best finance minister in Africa by the World Economic Forum, and many others. They're just a solid, capable group of individuals who have come together to manage the team, and we meet every week without fail. And so we have a laser-eyed focus on the economy, and we are taking decisions and making sure we monitor what is going on.
Economic management team, your chairman, Dr. Bawumia. Now, only for meeting now with our stress on diet. Our trap a movie a food diet. Omano and Puntabro, Omano what in Grino, or Yen and Botano. Obey chairman of economic management team. I don't know, Penny Power, say. Men na minye kasamafo Emma Ghana Sikasam. It's your only nursing and a mission Dumano, or no church and Dumano, or no as a Mampania the Dampa Kufuado, or the Tanin Seminaria, who are friends there. Mahmoud, I was in Castamino at the same, or no teaching Castamino, my economic management in our area trade, or no any of Penny and Tuma Bobiwa. Man said in the about them in our years, that was the Nasi. Obi bi already a message so that story. Na ukra frago, ukra handkerchief, when na ye the affair seven say that. Wale Adam Smith, Alhaji, Dr. Mahmoud.
I would want all of us here to, and on behalf of my colleagues, say a very big thank you to the type of leadership the EMT has enjoyed from Dr. Bawumia. A chairman who is so involved in the work of he works like a member, like a secretary. It's sterling quality, professionally excellent. So we are where we are because Dr. Bawumia is putting up a very professional chairmanship to the EMT. And I pray that we continue to work together as a team.
Honorable Regional Minister, all protocol duly observed. My team and I, we are very glad to be here in this glorious occasion. I'll start by introducing my team. I have my returning officer, Elvis Quokka. Yeah. And I have my two deputies, James Bele Ire. I hope my pronunciation is getting better. Bele Ire. Yes, he's a deputy returning officer. And I have Peter Abraham. Yes, he's also a deputy returning officer. These are the abled men I work with to help us have successful elections in this constituency. So thank you very much. And myself, I'm Mr. Isaac Akoto Dako. I'm the officer, district officer, election officer for Nandom. Municipal election officer. Thank you. So I've enjoyed my stay so far working with all of you in this municipal, and thank you for your cooperation all the time. I don't have the opportunity to express my gratitude, but today I'll use the opportunity to express my gratitude. Thank you all. All right. You know, for a moment, as a referee, when I picked the mic, I was tempted to say Kukrudu. But as a referee, you know, I have to play by the rules. Yeah, so I pretend. Okay, so my job here is very simple. We are here to acclaim the only standing aspirant or candidate for the MPP. So I'm hoping that you all cooperate with me to make this task a very simple one. Please, are you ready to cooperate? Yes, so that we can move on. I shouldn't even spend up to 5 minutes over.
Nobody, man, I shouldn't. And don't yet, Yayatu, Yanko Casse, Petro Boyadna, Fatrotro, Untimito Petro Fatrotro, Yanko Cow, Yanko Casse. So man, my head now for a passport 2 coin. How much I can say? Yeah, I can see you, John Funu. Okay, Ubia. Yeah, the Bibia can be a sum. Tina me say, fix it, and you have person capitalize on it for political advantage. Omunim people, those who are behind the fix it on social media. Omudi. Nukure woman say. MPP as a political party, an MPP government. You see, someone say the live in the bar, and about more we need 2024 elections, sir. Yeah, mama, that opportunity. You know, these volunteers said you are going to come here changing a chance, sir. Sir, the copy Supreme Court. More, Namo say, Abano, a easy, a mamma. Anamudi, easy, MPP, Aqua, Anamudi, easy, Aqua Court, and MPP, so one of the respondents. Yisi moka ma asem wie na MPP se ye kra yini kasa judge na na oti adwamu ti find this for nanu asem no mo kan fo mu de na fa bu asem na ma ye di fo abuefo anu this fo mu ye kum.
Dr. Apiahene and Ahmed Tijani were appointed by President Akufo-Addo to the board of the Electoral Commission in March 2023. The appointment of the two has courted controversy over their political affiliation with the ruling MPP. NDC MP for Buem, Kofi Adams, in an earlier interview, alleged that Dr. Apiahene is an MPP activist who was a patron of TESCON, a university wing of the MPP. Addressing a press conference in Accra on Wednesday, a leading member of CODEO, Reverend Dr. Fred Degbe, called for Dr. Apiahene and Hajia Salima Tijani to resign to protect the cross-party trust in the commission.
The appearance of partisan neutrality are paramount and must be safeguarded. It is against this background that we have, over the years, consistently advocated for a transparent and inclusive process for appointing persons to fill vacancies on the EC. The appointment to the EC of individuals known as widely perceived to be partisan or party-based can only go to deepen public mistrust in the EC. We believe strongly that the resignations of Dr. Peter Apiahene and Salima Ahmed Tijani are a necessary step in the efforts to rebuild trust and confidence in the EC, thereby guarantee the peace of our elections and the effectiveness of the Commission in the discharge of its extremely important national mandate. God bless our homeland, Ghana. Long live Ghana. Thank you, ladies.
To across this country and answered every single question on. I can understand why some people want to hear him do an elaborate set of remarks on it, but it should not be missed that his presentation was a third in a series of presentations by government dealing with various issues. And we have dealt extensively with the electronic transactions levy, traveling from Takrady to Koforidua to Wa to Ho and to other places, engaging the Ghanaian public, engaging in parliament, on mass media platforms, explaining the why and dealing with the fact that those two principal issues, one, digitization will not be compromised by e-levy have to be responded to, and it's been responded to ad nauseum. The second matter of dealing with the poor, the Vice President himself was very instrumental, and I don't think I break my cabinet oath when I say this, because I believe it serves a good purpose. He was very instrumental in the cabinet meetings and the EMT meetings to ensure that his principled argument of protect the poor was upheld. And that is why the threshold of 100 Ghana cedis, which accounts for about 40% of Momo transactions on a daily basis, 40%, was excluded from this levy. So in substance, the two issues, in my view, that people would want to hear him speak to have been addressed.
I have explained why I'm allowing him to respond to the question. If you're not satisfied with this, do you want to be shouting at this committee? Will that solve the problem? It won't. I'm saying that he's a public officer. We have the law that govern this country. Fortunately, if you attain the age of 60, you have the opportunity to be given a contract. If he's on contract, he will tell us, and that's solve it. What is your problem? If he's not up to 60, he will say it. What is your problem? Mr. Commissioner General, can you respond to the question? Mr. Commissioner General, we are waiting for you. Mr. Commissioner General, will you respond to the question or you will not? Mr. Commissioner General, will you respond to the question posed by the member or you will not?
Mr. Chairman, the Honorable Deputy Minister wanted to make an intervention.
No, I'm asking you, not the Deputy Minister. If I want the Deputy Minister to come in, I'll ask her.
So, what does the data say about the state of our economy after 8 years of economic management under the NDC, with President John Mahama in charge as the head of the economic management team for 4 years and president for another 4? Mr. Chairman, so what does the data say about the state of our economy after 8 years of economic management under the NDC, with President John Mahama in charge as the head of the economic management team for 4 years and president for another 4? Mr. Chairman, so what does the data say about the state of our economy after 8 years of economic management under the NDC, with President John Mahama in charge as the head of the economic management team for 4 years and president for another 4? Look at the economic management team. It is quite clearly a fantastic team. Professor Jambafo, Dr. Akotose, Dr. Afriye Akoto, Honorable Alan Chiramanting, Boachi Ejaku, Ken Oforiata, Senior Minister Yao Osafo Mafu. What a solid team. In fact, can anyone remember the NDC economic management team?
I am sure, I'm sure they themselves cannot remember who their economic management team was. Kukrudu, fellow Kukrudites, we were elected to fix the problems, and I'm glad to report that we are fixing the problems and we are putting in place the policies that will drive the economic transformation of this country.
About that. So anybody who is asking 170 questions, you know that he's not serious. And therefore, we shall ignore the 170 questions because he's not serious. Because he's talking about things that have happened about that. So anybody who is asking 170 questions, you know that he's not serious. And therefore, we shall ignore the 170 questions because he's not serious.
We'll raise them. You know, economic questions don't change over time. So he can answer the same questions. He posed them. He's the great economist. He will be able to answer them. He's there now. So he should be able to answer it. As I said, economic questions don't change over time. The same questions, maybe the answer will change. He will offer us the responses.
So you want him to answer his own questions, the 77 questions he posed to you?
Well, so they are not on-scene questions for him, so he should be able to answer because you've seen the questions, so it's not. No, I think that there are serious issues in the economy that we need to tackle. It is not the grandstanding, and that is important. It is getting the serious issues resolved.
This is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers.
It was Bawumia who said, vote for us when we come. The economy will grow and grow and grow, and there will be jobs and jobs and jobs. Today, what is the unemployment rate?
The situation we are in is a situation brought about by difficulties external, and government is doing its best.
So many scandals have come up, but I think that, to quote Saddam Hussein, this is the mother of all scandals.
And we shouldn't mince words on that. Why would you even do that? Why would you even go out and say the president is not there because they don't vote for them?
And that's about it for the front pages. We're back.
Of the powers, influence, and authority that the state has entrusted in our hands.
Mm-hmm.
That is why the issue of politics becomes critical and central to this issue. And I will tell you something which I have said many times. Anytime we are confronted with a problem and we seem not to have a solution to the problem, those who are supposed to find the solution are the problem. Anytime we are confronted with a problem and we seem not to find a solution to the problem, Those who are expected to provide a solution are the problem.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our joy, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
If you reach a certain stage in life and there is nobody who can look you in the eye and tell you the truth, you are doomed. And that is where our country has gotten to. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. And I feel very terrible as a Ghanaian at this time. This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. Inshallah.
Please don't cry.
We shall rescue our country.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Right, hello, good morning and welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. It's a Tuesday, the 13th day of February, 2024. By His grace, we're live and we're here. We're at another edition of the show. Our gratitude to go to the Most High God for the rare privilege of being alive and, of course, the opportunity of having another conversation around the top stories making rounds here in our dear Republic. I'll let you into our panel for the morning's conversation shortly. But let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. Daily Graphic. FDA to shut down unlicensed canteens. Many of our country's laws outmoded. Professor Tuguba. Tackling climate change. Ghana to receive $850 million support from Switzerland. GCB Bank appoints Daniel Asirifi as board chairman. The Ghanaian Times. 259 MMDAs inaugurated nationwide as assembly members take office. GCB Bank appoints new board chairman. 7 arrested over alleged murder of Jirapa Dubai CEO. 143 Ghanaians voluntarily repatriated from Libya. Daily Guide. Bawumia better than Mahama, Kofi Bento. Man jailed 50 years for robbery. 259 assemblies inaugurated. Nana Jabs Mahama over Wasi results. 7 caged over Jirapa Dubai boss murder. The New Crusading Guide. Akufo-Addo tackles Mahama over Wasi results. Audit Service constructs 19 new regional and district offices, renovates 6 abandoned regional and district offices. Chief of Staff inaugurates 259 district assemblies. 2 more suspects arrested over murder of Koze Hill Hotel CEO. Bechile Chief calls for unity. Accra Boy Doku family grants Yao Miracle power of attorney on Adjoing and lands. The Insight. Bawumia has nothing new to offer Alan. Mahama punches Bawumia, says VIP can't distance himself from current mess. Closure of Tano Shrine, Chief Priest not happy, laments theft of shrine's ornaments. Historic, Ghana now imports cocoa beans. The Daily Statesman, NPP paying rent for citizens. 1,393 benefit from National Rental Assistance Scheme. CG advocates ethical values, key in justice delivery. Speaker urges transparency, trust in 2024 elections. 259 assemblies inaugurated. The New Finder. Row over restriction on 142 medicines. Pharmaceutical sector divided in a heated debate. VAPES tax reforms good, but can't wait till 2025. Remove taxes on agri inputs to boost sector, Dr. Canton. High prices of Valentine's Day gifts items fuel low patronage, traders. Daily Post. You didn't introduce Momo interoperability. It was started in 2016. Sami Jemfi to Baumia. 2024 polls. NDC will oppose move to use Ghana card as sole identity document. Mahama. Honorable Clementa Park hands over a newly constructed kindergarten block to the Uwasi Zwaza people. Well done. Economy Times. BOG locks up 12 billion cedis from banking sector. CD to end 2024 at 13.40 to $1. Baumia admits Ghana's tax regime is most punitive as it promises reforms. And that's about it for the front pages. We'll be back shortly.
MTN.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say. But as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth and fresh breath.
I'm a fat missy way. Prepare bantama. Matias.
Her smile, the fresh breath.
Me Jidi say we use Kel 360 toothpaste. Say me kind. Kel 360 toothpaste.
Yes, Kia. Kel 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector.
Onim jom kasan.
Ile ko saying. Kel 360 better way. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
You will see so feeling kika when you know Kel 360 toothpaste.
Happy.
Kel 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Discover the perfect blend of quality, modern elegance, and affordability with Kingdom Home Real Estate. At Kingdom Home Real Estate, we cater to both local and international clients, offering exceptional housing options in Ebri and Ikropong. Our properties are conveniently located, providing a tranquil atmosphere, top-notch security, and essential amenities such as electricity, water, and backup generators. Our strategic locations offer easy access to popular tourist destinations, all within a 30-minute drive from Accra. Visit us in Ekropon right after the Latte Junction or in Ibri near the Ibri Girls Senior High School. Alternatively, you can reach us Kingdom Home Real Estate, where your dream home becomes a reality.
Star Assurance, your solid partner.
We are back bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bet. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the Partial Daily Jackpot.
You always get way more with Betway.
This
advert has been vetted and approved by
biggest car center in Ghana, offering unparalleled round-the-clock service in autos and accessories. Nadam Autofix is the biggest distributors of used tires in Ghana, offering first-grade second-hand car tires of all rim sizes at both wholesale and retail prices. We are also the leading name in car sensor diagnostics, corrections and sales of car accessories. We excel in car washing and detailing with state-of-the-art steam engine washing machines that keep water away from your engine, ensuring a clean, healthy and responsive engine. Nadam Autofix, the first name in servicing, car accessories and car washing. Visit us today and experience the world of class difference. Find us today at Asoridaho, directly opposite Dansoman KFC and the Shell filling station. For more details, you can call us on 0503 244 266 or 0535 339823. Nado Motofix, Wukwainsu Nyonko Papa.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana Live on Metro TV. With me on the show this morning is a member of Parliament for the Anyaso Utum constituency, Dr. Dixon Adumako Kisi. Doc, good morning.
Morning.
Right. Also with me on the show this morning is the member of Parliament for the Ningo Pram constituency, the Honorable Samuel Nate George, who's currently the toast of a lot of sports fans in Ghana. Good morning, Sam. Good morning, Anyway, we'll get on to the business creation. But imagine getting rewarded for doing something you already do every single day. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, that's exactly what Momo Season is all about. There's something for everyone. Download the Momo app on Play Store, App Store, and use Momo Pay for your day-to-day transactions. To a merchant, either through the QR code or merchant ID, and stand a chance of winning 1,000 Ghana cedis weekly and other amazing prizes. The merchants are also not left out of the reward. Receive payments and win. Keep using your Momo Pay on the Momo app and get rewarded. There are lots and lots of exciting prizes for everyone. So what are we doing today? Transact more with Momo Pay and more points and win big this Momo season. Visit momomerchantapplication.mtn.com.gh for your Momo for business account today. It's Momo season, so just Momo with Momo Pay. Terms and conditions apply. And brushing your kids' teeth sometimes becomes difficult due to resistance because of the taste of the toothpaste available to them. Use Kel Kids toothpaste flavor with strawberry that gives a perfect taste for kids and makes them develop a personal attitude and love for brushing their teeth always. Kel Kids toothpaste protects child's gum, prevents cavities, and makes the teeth strong and healthy with freshness all day. Kel Kids toothpaste is recommended for children between 2 and 6. As a product from Samara Company Limited, producers of Sasu, and is approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. Kel Kids, happy smile. And the pains of climbing the stairs when not exercising could be challenging for all ages. But you also need to enjoy the mansions of your labor. You need not worry because lifts and elevators have got you covered with the best portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators on the market today. It's a simple self-supported elevator for both homes and offices. And guess what? It can lift your goods too. Wheelchairs can fit in and they come in 3 custom-made models. It's affordable and can be installed within 3 days. Visit Lift and Elevators at Sakuman or just call them on 0200535515 or send a mail to elevatorsgh@gmail.com for consultations and the best solutions in easy vertical movements. An Amen Scientific and Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital is organizing a free health screening and it's open to the general public. This is a way of saying thank you to Ghanaians. What's more rewarding than this? The free screening includes fertility tests, prostate, stroke, diabetes, hypertension, fibroid, ulcers, hepatitis B, and many more. Note that the medical screening is free, but patients with disease conditions will pay a token for their medications. Visit Amen Scientific at Dominia, the Snake Flats down, or Clagon near the Sherman Underbridge, and all the other branches across the country. You can call Amen Scientific on 020-722-9505 or 0244-227192 to book your appointments. Amen Scientific and Alternative Medical Hospital. Allah Shafi, God is the healer. Doc, what happened at your primaries?
Oh, well.
You were quite upbeat. I was confident, although I had not really gone into the constituency to find out.
Yeah.
And then I had a result.
Poof.
Whoa. What happened?
Well, many factors, but I think I've decided not to talk about it anymore.
Oh.
I mean, this shit happens.
Okay.
So but I think ultimately the way forward is to support the new candidate and to help the party win 2024. Other than that, I think it's been an experience serving the people. But yeah, multiple factors.
But that must be a major setback because a young man has a very promising
political
surgeon career in the States. You decide to come down to Ghana, one, to practice and give back to your society, and also join the political party who you're persuaded by in terms of ideology. You get involved. You try to run for office. The first time it didn't go through. You tried the second time, it went through. And then in your very first term, there's a primary, and you lose out. That must be a serious setback.
Well, if you're talking from a diasporan point of view, in terms of encouraging others to come, I think, yes, it's a setback. But I also don't think that that's the end of my politicking. In some other ways, I think it's only also a beginning for me. As you rightly say, I'm young, and politics is not just parliamentary. There's so many aspects of politics, either communication, which I'm doing here today, or being in the background doing other things. So it won't be the end, and you can also still come back again. I mean, I can make another attempt. Who knows? So as it stands, one of my key focus, I think, moving forward would be how to make healthcare relevant in this coming election, and make it a talking point, so that sort of a demand on the politicians to make it a priority. We need a commitment either from the NDC or the MPP on what we're going to do for Ghana's health. I think we have a track record already, but there's more to be done. And I think that on a whole, citizens need to prioritize for the government in a way. So we need to set the tone. In many jurisdictions, like jobs, and it's a demand on the politicians that makes it a relevant topic for discussion. So moving forward, I think health will be one of the things I'll focus on because I'm biased to that, and I think that ordinary Ghanaians do not make heavy demands on politicians enough for the things that matter. So between now and December, one of the areas I'll focus on, and also maybe blow up what the MPP has done on the health front. There are so many achievements that we've not really touted, the likes of the GU unit at Kolebu, and I've always been of the opinion that it is not necessarily building a whole new hospital, but when you add on infrastructure to existing facilities, it's also something that we need to talk about. So there's a lot to do still.
What is it, if someone were to ask, what is it that will make a young surgeon who has a health facility in his constituency, he is always on the service, his facilities are service of his people, he's always there at service of his people, he's in parliament, he has no executive position, he's communicating for his party. What is it that will make him lose popularity within just 3.5 years? What is it that will make him lose all that goodwill that he had in 3.5 years?
Well, let me be very categorical. I think if I should run as independent today, it's very likely that I will come out victorious.
Really?
I without a doubt. But I want to stay within the party. I want to stay within the party.
So are you suggesting so that you are not misunderstood or there's clarity in what you said? Are you suggesting that you are less popular within your party, but outside of your party, you are extremely popular? Is that what you're saying?
Well, in my last elections, I garnered more votes than the presidential. That's a fact.
In the constituency?
In the constituency, for a first timer.
Okay.
So that should just prove.
So that's a combination of NPP
and the NDC,
NDC and other votes.
Yes. So that is a fact that is on.
So what is it that will make you unpopular within your own party in just 3.5 years?
Well, since you are moving me towards there, I think I dissented in a couple of decisions. With regards to the party, I'll be very frank with you. In October, I stood with those who said that we felt strongly that the finance minister should be led.
October 2022.
Yes. So that is one reason. The other reason too would be my support for Alan Kyerematen.
Oh, yeah.
And beyond that, I think that I've been very vocal. And that also has to do with my exposure, because I believe that when you have acquired knowledge, it's important that you make use of it and not necessarily be mute. Our culture frowns on people who are vocal. I think that is also another thing. And when kids are expressing, parents shut them down. And I think that culture still permeates through our politics, so that when you're young, vocal, vibrant, you're not afforded the opportunity for growth and empowerment, and I think that it is what it is, and I'm not that type that can be mute. When it is not good, I have to express it, because that is what I know, and I think that as parliamentarians, it's important that you can talk for the people you represent, and at any point in time, if the people are pushing you for either working on LGBT like Sam is doing, you better be a reflection of the people you represent. And if you are shot and killed for those reasons. I mean, you know, that's politics. But I think history will be the best judge moving forward. In a decade or so, just like Roe versus Wade, 50 years ago, it was not popular, but now it's been accepted. So I think there's going to be room in the future when they judge some of the decisions I took as a parliamentarian for my people, and either say it was good or bad. But I think that...
How will this influence your work in Parliament? Yes, you lost the party's primaries, but you will be the MP until
January.
the 5th.
Like,
January
6th.
6th, the new one will be inaugurated.
Okay, yeah,
yes.
that's right. Yeah.
So till, let's say, January 5, you will still be the MP. You will still be representing the MPP with that +1 from the Fomena. I mean, how are you going to be able to deal with parliamentary work for another 10 months?
Well, I think regardless, you know, once you've lost, your zeal and energy will drop. As it stands now, I think I'm on half clutch because I also have to make room for the new candidate to take off. So one key thing is my social engagement will reduce because I'm not contesting with him. So I'll leave the space you know, all the beautiful funerals, engagements, wedding anniversaries, all those things to the new candidate, and that is a huge chunk of load lifted off me. And forgive me if I don't show up.
What about the house itself, the business in the house? Because knowing you, you know, there are many times that you are whipped, all sides.
Yes.
And sometimes there are issues where you personally, you know, do not agree. And I'll give you a typical example. I after Dr. Bawumia's lecture,
correct,
I played back the events of the e-levy debate and the fisticuffs and stuff, and I saw, I even saw my brother Tema Eves, you know, and I saw the MPs, and what happened that day, and I saw some of them at the same place clapping when the issue of it will be removed came up. So I was like, was it an issue of a party position that will make people behave that way, and not that they believe that it is the right thing? And that's why I am asking you this question, that in this circumstance now, if you are in Parliament and there is a party position, as against...
I think government business is largely done, I hope. Because at this point in time, we are liberated in a way, and you know, people will be more expressive. I mean, you can see the likes of Atachia recently, who was very mute at some point in time with regards to Ken Masco, but once that he's not, you know, coming back, he's been very liberated. He's felt free to talk about his mind. I mean, you know, what he feels, and I think in the ensuing days, you know, many of the non-returnees will be, you know, talking as freely as they can. But I think most of us will also try and be within the party.
Because you're party people.
You know, and not be so out of line from what the party feels. And
you can't behave like rebels.
Yes, not at all, not at all. We'll do our very best. Our commitment largely remains with the party, you know, and what's in the interest of the party. So the executive, but then, I mean, I have to be very firm. The executive will have some challenges if they bring new business. It won't be like before, and you know, people drag their feet a bit, and it's expected.
I mean, to the extent that it will increase the level of scrutiny, and perhaps get the executive to take their work more seriously. I think that it will be better for Ghana.
42 of us are non-returnees.
Okay.
20
voluntarily.
Also voluntarily, and then, you know. So I think close to 50 of us are in that bracket of freedom.
I see. Okay. So, Sam, you're also on the Public Accounts Committee.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
So,
and you know, I even after the loss, I have been active on the committee.
Oh, okay. That's
so
brilliant.
We'll keep at it. Yeah.
Now, Sam. Okay. So you've gained not notoriety, but some new fame, and. No, let's start off with from this point, then I'll get back to the PAC. What's happening with the LGBTQ? I thought that there was some. I thought that the process has slowed down. Then the next thing I hear is that there's a discussion on sentencing regimes and all that. What's happening?
Okay, Randy. Good morning, and good morning to my brother and friend, Dr. TC. And let me just state that, Randy, it is, just before I go to the LGBTQ thing, Parliament in itself, from the get-go, before even we have the 2024 elections, Parliament is going to lose about 60 members of Parliament. I think the number is about 68 members of Parliament.
Right, a number from your side?
From our side, you have, I think, 7 who said they won't go, who didn't seek re-election. And I think we had about 11 who lost.
So about 18.
About 18. And then you add to the MPPs about 48, those who lost and those who said they are not going. And so you have in excess of 60 MPs who, from the get-go, that's almost 25 to 28% of Parliament.
So
that's not coming.
At least there will be 60 new MPs.
At least, at the very least. If every
then
MP,
if you add those who will lose, they will probably be getting to close to 100.
Possibly.
Okay.
You know, and that's almost 40% of Parliament in one transition. It's a pretty high attrition rate. And I mean, I've worked with Doc for 3 years, 2 months. In Parliament and on the Public Accounts Committee, and if there's one person who has shown his dedication and commitment to the work of Parliament, especially in the committees, it's been Doc, and it's sad to see him go. I just hope that his party would find a way to use his abilities for the betterment of our political dispensation. But again, Randy, I think that it raises the bigger question of the sheer amounts of money that's been poured into our politicking, you know, and the victimization. When you speak your mind and when you stand up, I mean, I keep saying that Doc is my political opponent, but my political enemies are within my own party, and and I think that we've just seen that happen. Yeah, the enemies are within. But running on the anti-LGBTQ bill. I mean, there have been all kinds of accusations. Oh, Sam George and his people have gone to take money. In fact, one of the MPP MPs in Greater Accra who also lost actually was on record to say that I had gone to take money as a bribe to actually hype the LGBTQ agenda, Sheila Battles. You know, and all of that.
She lost, right?
Yes. You know, unfortunately. But she lost to Ikea Efri, the deputy, she took Ikea out. Ikea was now appointed deputy ambassador to China.
Sometimes those things make sense.
You know, and then Ikea is back again. So I think there's some musical chairs going on in that constituency. But the fact always remains the fact. Randy, we have always indicated, and I've always indicated, that if Parliament gave me the opportunity with my colleague sponsors, if they give us 1 day, we will stand on our feet, move the amendments, carry out all the debates, and proceed. And as soon as the House resumed, I got indication from leadership. And in fact, it was indicated by the Honorable Osei Mensah Bonsu himself, when he presented the business statement for the first week, that last week, Wednesday and Thursday, were going to be dedicated largely to the promotion of proper human sexual rights and Ghanaian Family Values Bill 2021. I was taken aback. And so I even had other engagements that had been planned for the week. Wednesday, I appeared in Parliament. And Randy, we've had this happen before. they tell us it's going to be the big main business. We come within 30 minutes, then they say they are moving on to another thing. But we came prepared. But true to their words, and with Honorable Case Latu Forcing leading our side, but on Wednesday we did 4 hours of the bill. And then on Thursday we did 4.5 hours. And so in 2 days, we basically completed the entire consideration of the bill. We finished consideration. All the amendments have been moved. We had some very interesting amendments moved on the floor of the House, like one that I will not forget from, I think he's the Minister for Environment, Honorable Dr. Ifrie, yes, the elderly doctor from the Western region. Yes. I mean, Randy, his understanding that he brought to bear on the bill, for example, as soon as he saw our interpretation section and the interpretation of sex, he immediately introduced chromosomal structure and said that we couldn't just leave the interpretation of sex to only the phenotypical expression of male and female on the face, because you needed to do the chromosomal structure to determine XY or XX, and even went further to do the rare occurrences of XXY and all of those. And I thought it enhanced and enriched the conversation. So right now where we sit is we are waiting for the drafting office to put together the cleaned up version, hand it over to Mr. Speaker. If there is the need for a second consideration, that will happen. But if it represents everything that the sponsors and Parliament have done over the past 3 years, then I think that we're good to go. Mr. Speaker will bring it for the third reading and we'll proceed.
All right, okay, so let's come to PAC.
Yes.
Why were you harassing the officials from the ministry and the sports authority?
They're not the only people he harasses, though.
In fact, earlier, in the last 2 weeks, one had to do with the Reverend Amishadai, Reverend Dr. Amishadai, and then the Ministry of Youth and Sports and NSA.
Yes. Ronnie, our job there is a very serious one. It is to scrutinize the Auditor General's report and identify the loopholes in the system. Doc would admit that some of the things that appear before us, clearly you can tell that, look, this is a rape of the public purse, and it is intentional on the part of public servants, some public servants, to abuse the system and take advantage of the system. Randy, we've had the ability and opportunity to ask public interest questions. I'm surprised, maybe Twitter has just taken cognizance of the Public Accounts Committee. But Randy, in the last Parliament, it was a public interest question I asked of GNPC that revealed that the First Lady, Rebecca Kufuor, had been given 5 million from GNPC Foundation to run her Rebecca Foundation. It was that same public interest question that revealed that Ochihini had been giving over 11 million to celebrate his 30th or so year, or to celebrate an anniversary on the throne. So I have been doing this for a while. It was a public interest question of mine that exposed the fact that the Bank of Ghana, which at the time had issued, and that day was Mr. Edison himself sitting in the chair, that had issued a warning saying that it was illegal to transact business in dollars. The Bank of Ghana itself was busy transacting business in dollars with Ghanaian businesses. And so they were giving a regulation or a rule to Ghana, and they were doing something different. So I've been doing this from time to time. And other members have also done the same. In fact, in the last public accounts, last Parliament. I also talked of bus branding. Well, that preceded me. Bus branding, for example, came out when Ajiman Menu was chairman and the NDC was in government.
The current health minister.
Yes, he was chairman of Public Accounts Committee.
I know he was chairman.
Yes, but it was under him bus branding came out.
Oh, okay.
He was chairman when the public interest question of bus branding came up. And it became a topical issue. So the Public Accounts Committee, then he became health minister, and then Sputnik V has happened, and all of those things. That the Sputnik V, the Frontiers Healthcare, the whole mess, Agenda 111, La General Hospital, all those, So Anyway, and he was dreaded at the time as chairman of Public Accounts Committee.
He's extremely knowledgeable in that area, yeah.
You know, so, and I mean, people like the current National Security Minister, Kandaba, have been chairman of Public Accounts.
Yeah.
You know, so the Public Accounts Committee has always been a place where you shed light.
I think the problem Ghanaians have is that it looks like beyond maybe a naming and shaming, people, the public, does not see people getting punished. They don't see it as punitive. Just before the naming and shame, people will come and sit there, you say all those things, they are embarrassed. There the next day somebody else comes to take the headline away, it ends, they go back. Every year when we watch, same infractions, sometimes different people and different SAMs involved, but same infractions. And so people don't see they don't seem to see the benefit. You know, initially it was refreshing. It was quite you know, we had come from a military rule, Parliament had started, there was now this committee, audit reports. That's especially when we started getting the audit reports, so it was a bit exciting. But after some time, then people realized that, look, it's become like an annual
ritual. Yeah,
name and shame ritual, and then it ends. And then you watch the next year, you will see the same infractions, same institutions, maybe different persons, because somebody has been transferred or is retired, and there's a new person holding the position.
Or sometimes what we actually witness is the same officer who has been transferred from one district to another district.
Involved in the same
thing he did in the previous district. He repeated
so there's a certain level of fatigue.
Yes. So Randy, you know, I'll take this from two aspects.
Okay.
First has to do with what happens when the public account sheds light. Doc reminded me of bus branding. When public accounts shed light on bus branding, what did the executive at the time then under John Mahama do? Immediately, he asked for an investigation. The facts were established. They asked the company involved to do some refunds. We were told that the company had already even done the refunds, about 1.3 million Ghana cedis. And then the minister who superintended it was relieved of her position. So you saw a government that acted on the expose from public accounts. Now, you have the several exposés. It's been weeks since I revealed with my colleagues that the Commissioner General, Amisha Dai, Reverend Dr. Amisha Dai, has been at post since October 2022 without a contract, beyond the age of 60, in clear violation of Article 1993 of the 1992 Constitution. The president has not acted. In fact, post that, the president has actually empowered Amisha Dai to go to India to go and negotiate a new deal with Tata on domestic tax reforms. And in that deal is Ken Ofori-Atta himself, the mastermind behind all of this. Him and a gentleman called Ernest Akori, who is cooking all of these deals. So even when you are exposing the people, you have the likes of Ken and his henchman Ernest Akori sitting there and cooking these deals, taking domestic tax revenue from a Ghanaian company to give to an Indian.
But Ernest Akori holds a position.
Yes.
He works there.
Yes.
So he's performing his official duty.
It's his official duty to keep cooking.
No.
From Ghana.gov. It's not cooking, it's creating.
He has an official position. He's given responsibilities by the minister.
Yes.
The minister superintends over things including the tax administration and all that. Yes. So
but I have not said anything different from that.
No, when you use the expression cooking, the impression that I get, I could be wrong, but the impression I get is that it is something negative, it's something untoward, it's something which is
not legal.
Yes, something which is not appropriate or right.
Randy,
I'm saying the impression I get. I'm not saying that's what you're saying.
Sure. Yeah. Let me just, you see, some of these things at times they are blessings in disguise. When you do your interjection, wait, Doc, I beg you. When you do your interjection, sometimes there are blessings in disguise. See, we had a platform that had been set up by NITA under John Mahama. where persons could pay their taxes to GRA. It was called eservices.gov.gh, and the payment gateway was epay.gov.gh. Now, Ken Ofori-Atta,
the finance
minister, and Esther Corey then decide that this platform must change, and then decide that the GRA, instruct the GRA to issue a contract to someone who we all know, everybody in the industry knows the relationship between that person and Ken Ofori-Atta, Kojo Hesi of ExpressPay. Now, they are so contracted to now do a platform called Ghana.gov. The same gateway.
They didn't go through due process.
It was Randy, I'm coming.
Yes.
I'm giving you Bojidi, naturally. They sole sourced this to that company. Then Esankuma, Bentil Angel, did a legal opinion and said, for a contract of this magnitude, you cannot choose to sole source. So immediately they then decide, oh, bring in Haptel and bring in IT Consortium. And let's form a company called Digital Ghana, digital.gov. Randy, the same thing that NITA had set up under John Mahama, where all revenue was going to the states. They set up this Digital.gov platform.
You worked at NITA?
Yes, I was on the board of NITA for 4 years. And it was under the instruction of our minister at the time, Honorable Omane Boama, that we set up that platform for government payments. And in fact, in 2016, we processed 128 billion Ghana cedis of tax payments. 128.6 billion. Not a peswa went to any private individual. It went to the government. Now, they create this company. When they create this company, I have the receipts here, and I can show you Digital.gov receipts. In February, and it doesn't follow chronologically, but I've got them in different months. This receipt, for example, that I hold in my hands is for the month of February 2021. These three companies, this consortium and that's why I said Cook, because something that exists, because Randy, if you click on the Digital.gov platform and you follow the gateway where it takes you to pay, it is still the ePay that John Mahama's NDC and NITA created. The same thing. They just put a new domain name on top of it, but the payment gateway is still the same. Now, we did that for free. For February 2021, an invoice on March 23rd, 2021 was paid to Digital.gov for how much? 13 million Ghana cedis. Now they've set up a contract and they are giving a percentage of the revenue collected to private individuals. Something that the state was doing under John Mahama for free. Nothing else has been added. Randy, I can give you another receipt. I've got more than 20 of the receipts. This is August 2020. And Randy, you should even check the date. In August 2020, how much they paid the company was 639,451. The two people who signed for it, Kojo Hesi and Romeo Bujei, August 2020. As you get closer to the election,
what's the point?
As you get closer to the election, Randy, the point I'm making is you have two different approaches from the executive to the findings of public accounts. One is a government led by John Mahama, where we took decisive action against individuals who were found culpable and retrieved money for the state. The other is what you are seeing today, where the persons who ought to take action, like in the case of Amish Shaddai that we questioned, because he is serving a certain purpose for persons who are, for want of a better phrase, abusing their office to the detriment of the Ghanaian taxpayer, he is still being maintained at post without a contract.
Now, couldn't that just be an oversight? I mean,
it was an oversight. It's been 3 weeks now since your attention has been drawn to it.
How would you know if the letter has...
Randy, I can tell you for a fact that as we speak this morning, unless they are drafting the letter this morning, Amish Shaddai does not have a contract yet. He does not have a contract, and he's not the only one. And Randy, look, the things going on, it's mind-boggling. Randy, for example, they bought generators at GRA. Amish Shaddai handles procurement himself. And these generators...
Are we sure about this?
Yes, he handles procurement.
But your colleague on the PAC is asking if you are sure.
No, I mean, this is outside.
This is outside of the report.
Okay.
But I'm saying to you, and because of this GRA expose, a lot of information.
So let's stick to the report.
No, but
you could be misled.
Oh, Randy, I have evidence. I have documents. I can show you. I have documents and videos of generators that were bought by GRA. And they were abandoned at the warehouse for 2 years. The prices were inflated.
I'm saying that in reference to he is in charge of procurement himself. That's what I mean by. But you could be misled. People take advantage of some of these situations and they fly all manner of.
But when you see the document with his signature on it,
it doesn't mean he's in charge.
He approved
the procurement.
Yes, but it doesn't mean he's in charge of procurement.
Randy, but I'll take your cue. Right. You get it because okay. Let me leave it there. Let me not go to some places.
For instance, but not in charge of procurement, but
the president will not sign. The president will not sign certain things, but it's fine. Okay. Let's leave it there. But for example, generators that were bought, the prices that were quoted in 2021 are higher than the official prices from the manufacturer who has a dealership in Ghana, Cummins. In 2023, the prices have not dropped. Cummins, and when you ask Cummins for their price in 2021, it was lower than their price in 2023. So even they have factored inflation and increased their price. Yet what GRA bought the generators for in 2021 is higher than what Cummins is selling today. And then it's been padded.
Could the GRA ones be customized for a certain purpose?
Please, Andy, they were not customized.
Okay.
They were not. The procurement document. No, the procurement document states the specification. So if a generator that costs 110,000 for a unit, they make it 170,000 per unit, and then go ahead to buy them in multiples. I don't even have a problem with your inflation of the prices. Warranties will increase the price by almost 50% or 40%. But when you do that, and then you pay with our taxes, and then you go and abandon the generators for 2 years.
Really?
Yes, at North Industrial Area. Really? Abandoned. I have pictures.
Which means that they didn't have need for them.
They had no need. Somebody just needed to buy. You go and buy cars. You go and buy vehicles. You take invoices from Toyota Ghana and the likes of Sterling, who are established for Land Cruisers. Then you go and buy from a company that doesn't even have a garage for servicing them. Right now, some of those GRA vehicles are serviced on a football pitch.
Okay.
You see, Randy, so when somebody is sitting there without a contract and signed the SML contract, the SML contract was signed. At the time, he didn't have a contract to be in office. And you think that Ghanaians will not feel that everything we are doing.
Your law that you studied and are studying will tell you that by conduct of the employer government, constructively he has a job.
Well, Randy, conduct cannot supersede the dictates of the 1992
No, you don't get what I'm
Constitution.
saying.
No,
I'm not saying that
I do.
Government has acted
correctly.
That's not what I'm saying.
In fact, that was his response. That he has implied that he has a job because government has kept him at post. Okay, yes, but the government in itself can be acting illegally. And that's what the government is doing in this instance. Acting very illegally. In contravention of the president is acting in contravention of the Constitution he swore an oath to defend. Now the Sports Authority. Randy, the Sports Authority one, myself and Doc, 2 years ago, had issues with the Director General of the Sports Authority on a pickup.
Yeah. So the one that was stolen.
The one they claim was stolen.
Missing or stolen.
Because Randy, you see, you can't tell me that thing was stolen. The Sports Authority parks its vehicles at a sports hotel near the stadium in Kumasi. Anytime you drive from Accra to Kumasi, that is where they park official vehicles. This vehicle was bought out. There were two of them, two pickups bought and outdoored in, I think, April. And then within 4 months, the Director General assigned one to himself. Within 4 months, he goes to Kumasi with one and instructs the driver not to park the vehicle at the usual stadium hotel, but go and park it at OAS Hotel.
Because he's staying there. Maybe it's because he's staying there.
Randy.
Decoy.
Randy, he should go and park it at OAS Hotel. That very night, there was a robbery at OAS Hotel.
Coincidence.
They didn't steal any other thing but the pickup.
It was the most valuable thing there.
In the whole hotel? Okay. Now they go and lodge a complaint at the police station. And when they lodge the complaint at the police station, the police come for the CCTV footage. There's a CCTV footage from the week before and from the morning after. But that night, the CCTV system was turned off at Owas Hotel. Is that also coincidence again?
It could be insider job. So whoever is in charge of the CCTV ought to be questioned.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Because that's curious.
But Randy, how did they move the vehicle there? Now, this same Director General had said that he had personally taken steps to ensure that those vehicles were comprehensively insured. Hallelujah. We don't have a problem then. Insurance will do what? Replace the vehicle. Papa, Professor Chumesi, bring us the documents of insurance so that we can make a claim. It's been 2 years. He can't produce the
but I thought he explained it. I think one of your sessions I watched.
That.
And he explained the issue with the insurer. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I might not. But I thought I heard him speak about they having a running contract with the insurer or the broker. And so when they got the vehicles, they asked them to do the insurance, but they had not paid a premium. Now, when this car was stolen and they made the claim, the insurance company's position was that to the extent that you had not paid a premium at the time,
that is right.
you will not pay. But I thought I heard something.
Yes.
So I'm right.
Yes. But Randy, who do you hold responsible for that? Who do you hold responsible for making sure for the failure of that insurance policy?
Is the consumer.
The person who ought to have paid the premium.
Yes. Because in fact, the National Insurance Commission years back, issued a directive to all insurance companies.
Absolutely.
That the practice was that. So for me, the practice was that if the insurance is on the vehicles, let's say they expire 1st January, they automatically
roll it, and then they'll come and give you
pay later and all that. So what Gary do? He does all my insurance. So he then said that look, there's a new directive. If you don't pay,
it's void.
It can't be.
And rightly so.
Issued.
And so who do you blame? Do you blame the insurer or the person who was supposed to have paid? And who was supposed to have paid?
They had that arrangement because there are releases. The releases to the ministry.
But we also.
So at the time that they had I'm just saying that's what I heard.
No.
He said,
yes. He said that, but the committee didn't buy that.
And in fact, it still holds. And correct me if I'm wrong. There are still many government vehicles that are not insured as we sit here today.
Oh yes, because the insurance is expired. They don't have the money.
Some they've not even done insurance for.
They don't
many
insure
government
them.
vehicles they don't insure.
They just use them.
Because government are buying their there's a directive for all government vehicles to be insured.
Right?
Yes,
and as for the military, there is even worse.
The security agencies, they have a way of. They have a way of.
This is a different discussion. Let's not go there.
Like when you enter, you
still on the NSA.
You sacrifice your everything.
Still on the NSA. There's a pending case at Legon Police Station. There's a pending case at Legon Police Station.
Over the same pickup?
No, different one. Hampers. Look, Randy, the place is literally a crime scene, and that's why the committee chairman, James Kushi recommended, because again we don't have the power to order, recommended to the Auditor General to do a forensic audit of the place, because the same person, before he was appointed,
special audit or forensic audit.
He said he called for forensic audit.
I thought I heard
special audit.
Special. I heard.
Okay, special audit
is about the same.
All of them should. What we want is an audit, because Randy, again, and in case the Auditor General's team is listening, they should be checking from the payroll. Because again, I've seen a letter that was written from KNUST, because Prof used to be the Dean of the College of Sciences.
We resolved that.
The double pay.
That's been resolved.
You resolved that one. But there are too many issues around the space where we need to look at it. But Randy, so I've basically done all of this to just establish for you the inactivity of the appointing authority to step in to fix issues. And I've juxtaposed this against John Mahama and the way he acted. Now the second leg to it, because I told you I'll take this from 2 legs. The second leg is rather shorter.
So that was just the first leg?
That's the first leg.
Oh my goodness.
Now the second leg is last year.
Well, once we don't have a third leg, we'll be fine.
Yeah. Right.
Go on.
It's breakfast. It's breakfast show.
Go on.
Flow. Ready? Pick me up here. But
yes.
Last year, the committee decided that we're not going to tolerate procurement breaches. And so all procurement breaches were referred to the Attorney General.
Correct.
Because previously we accept you bringing the documents to regularize. Last year we said no. All procurement breaches, you are handed over to the Attorney General for prosecution. We handed over 180 cases to the Attorney General. That has been a year. Not one has been prosecuted.
180 cases?
Yes, of procurement breaches.
180.
180 over.
Maybe the Attorney General does not find
So the
enough.
problem is we need to decide that we want to fight corruption. The Attorney General's department must work with public accounts and have
not all wrongs can be criminally prosecuted.
No, all the things that we referred are things for criminal prosecution.
In the view of your committee,
it follows from the regulations and then the ruling.
Oh, so
yes.
you clearly established breaches.
Yeah. The breaches have been established by the Auditor General,
okay.
And then based on the ruling of the Supreme Court, in interpreting the Occupy Ghana case and giving Dom Levo the powers of surcharge. So there is both the law and there is a ruling of the Supreme Court. So in fact, when the committee sits and then decides that we are not going to apply those sanctions, we're actually in breach of the law and the Supreme Court ruling. So we decided we will do just what the law is asking us to do and what the Supreme Court is asking us to do. So then you must begin to see prosecution. What I think we need to have is the Attorney General's office have a dedicated team to handle those prosecutions or referrals from the Public Accounts Committee.
Especially procurement breaches.
And then you also have to have the Chief Justice set up a specialized court for these breaches. So, like the way you have a traffic court, where right now when the police arrest you, you are not put in the chain of all the cases in court. They send you straight to a traffic court. They are dedicated judges. You are given a fine. In less than 1 hour, you're out of the court, or your license is withdrawn. A specialized court. You've got one for lands. We need to have specialized courts to deal with procurement breaches, so that when the Public Accounts Committee refers to the AG, that specialized unit on procurement breaches and referral from the Public Accounts Committee picks them up. It doesn't have to compete with all the other things the Attorney General's office is dealing with. They go straight to the specialized court. When the news begins to come up of prosecutions, and successful prosecutions at that, of persons engaged in procurement breaches, you will then begin to see people sit up. Because Randy, in 2016, when John Mahama was leaving office, the total value of procurement breaches or breaches of public finance in the Auditor General's report of 2016 was a total value of 780 million.
Cedis.
Ghana cedis. 780 million, less than a billion. In 2021, the total volume.
5 years.
The total volume
inflation
of infractions, the cost was 12.1 billion Ghana cedis. Randy, 12.1 billion is almost $1 billion. The IMF we are chasing. This second tranche was how much? 600 million. 600 million, yes. It's less than what in 1 year infractions, the value of infractions. Let's even assume that only half of those are real losses to the state, because again, not all infractions are losses. That's $500 million in infractions. It tells you that people are realizing the loopholes and exploiting it. And this year's sitting that we are doing, they've developed a new strategy because we are referring them for prosecution. Everybody's coming and says, we've reported to Yoko. We've reported to Yoko. As soon as they come and you ask them what they say, we reported to Yoko to stay the hand of the committee.
By that, they are ousting your jurisdiction.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so you can, and Randy, I have the view, and I hold this very strongly, that there are people in the public sector.
Just hold on a bit.
Oh, let me just, I've landed on this.
On this Yoko thing. On the basis of what you've just said, is your committee considering perhaps a proposal to let issues associated with the Auditor General not go to like Yoko? Especially when you have identified it as a ploy.
Yes. That one, I think the chairman will have to give guidance on. We will have to, but again, it could find expression when we present our report to plenary.
Because I'm looking at it from a point of view of the bigger fight against corruption.
Absolutely.
That if we've identified that
because
people are using.
You know, when it started happening,
because parallel investigation, for example, is one of the tools that the executive uses.
Exactly.
So
we can explore that, because even Yoko seems to be inundated because they are shocked at what is happening with all these reports coming. You know, and so we need to look at that. But Randy, I hold a very strong view that there are certain people in the public service who use the Public Accounts Committee as a means of fleecing the public purse.
How?
Okay. The whole infraction that they are coming to appear before us is like 6,000 cedis. Something that costs 6,000. But 4 officers are going to be dispatched from that agency to come and appear before the committee. Let's assume they are coming from one of the northern regions or the western north. They take off, if they are to appear on Tuesday, they would leave maybe Sunday evening to arrive, or Monday morning to arrive Accra. They are paid out of station for that day. They are paid hotel accommodation. Then they appear before us on Tuesday. And maybe because of the time we've closed, it's too late to go, so they leave on Wednesday. So you end up having 3 to 4 days allowance. In one of the instances, Randy,
you should be happy.
I think
they take the committee serious.
Yes.
2, they are bringing you all the relevant officers, so that somebody doesn't come and say that, oh, Mr.
Randy.
So I really think that one
we
you
are
should
cutting.
hold
No. We're cutting our nose to spite our face, because in the particular case, I don't want to mention the district, because when I asked them what everybody who came, the district assembly or the agency spent about 5,500 cedis on each of them, and there were 4 of them. So it came to 22,000 to come and respond to an infraction of 6,000. Randy, no. Randy, you ask yourself, why did they have to come down? Because, Randy, they came down only to tell us, oh, we've regularized it, these are the documents. The report we were dealing with, that audit was done 2 years earlier. Now, they told us that they presented the documents the week they were appearing before us to the auditors. The question it raises is, and Doc, just like me, you are an MP. You oversee the common fund, the MP's common fund. Even though it is administered by the district assembly, you authorize it. In my instance, there are times when the auditors have come and they've called me, MP, we see that these items were bought. We see that you bought 20 of them. We've seen a distribution list for 18. 2, we can't see the distribution. I follow up and say, what's going on? I check with my team. Maybe it was donated to somebody, but the person didn't sign the honor certificate. But I have evidence of every distribution. We have pictures. So whatever you call, we go into our library, bring the pictures, show you the people who took it. The people are called. When the auditors come, even if you say you've disbursed to 100 people, you are supposed to take their names and contact numbers, because the auditors, for audit purposes, can randomly call any of those people to verify if it is true that you have done that. But when the auditors come, they spend 2 weeks at the assembly. 2 weeks with you, within which you are supposed to regularize anything that you could not regularize. After the 2 weeks, they leave and go and prepare their report and come back and do an exit conference a month later. So you've had 6 weeks. Randy, in 6 weeks, they couldn't find the documents to regularize with the auditors. It finds its way into the report. Then they stay 2 years before the Public Accounts Committee calls them. It is the week they are appearing that they now found those documents. Whether they found them or manufactured them is a different conversation. But those documents are now found, and then the same taxpayer for whom 6,000 cedis was misappropriated has to spend 22,000 cedis for people to come and respond that they provided the paperwork. Randy, I think we need to look at it properly.
Right.
Well, you have a point. I mean, I think maybe in the future the chairman may have the discretion to, put in, some sort of a limitation. If your infractions are less than X amount, it can be dealt with either via phone or something. I mean, that's.
I'm sure that for you, from where you started your adult life, working life, and what you witnessed, and what you've seen on the Public Accounts Committee over the last 3 years or so, you should find some of those things very shocking.
Well, I mean, one of the things is like, salaries, on the end salaries, where somebody is dead and we're still paying. It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. Or the likes of people who leave the country for X amount of months and then are still being paid. These are things that shouldn't happen. If our human resource management systems are very well in place. And then I also have a problem with people who are ill and out of either the non-communication or the collusion with their supervisors are let paid for 6 to 1 year without actually showing up. So these are some of the things that are the ordinary Ghanaians or the ordinary civilian employees, as it is, abusing the system. And I think that these are things that should be looked at carefully, and more importantly, especially when there's a death, the processes of stopping salary payment, and then also there's also another loophole where payments to dead people's account is a bit difficult for government to retrieve, and largely because they might have a loan agreement with the bank, and the bank will just evaporate any funds that come in. So these are things that government ought to also look at, and how you can reverse maybe 3 months of payments to an account when the person is dead. Those processes must be clearly looked at. But in summary, one key thing I need to assure you is that I think over the past 3 years, I must admit that the infractions somewhat has reduced compared to before. Granted, the quantums might be different depending on the infraction, but I think that over time people are being more careful, and I think that as we keep at it, it also serves as a training opportunity for those who come to listen when we do these discussions, and I think that when they become aware of other people's infractions, they are much careful in their own jurisdiction. And I think that also, back to our human resource issues, transfers within government sometimes can be very cumbersome, unnecessarily cumbersome. If you have a nurse moving from Jirapa to Cape Coast, it can take, forgive me, 6 months to just make sure that the salaries are being paid at Cape Coast, not Jirapa. And these are things that ought to be looked at in terms of government payments. And the quantum of some of the monies are largely due to sick leave without documentation, the debt, and those who have left the country. And I also think that that process needs to be also looked at carefully, and those well-meaning Ghanaians who are given monies to go and study abroad and don't come back. That's another very unfortunate bit. And sometimes, it's difficult to blame them. I mean, as you know, the largesse of the outside world is very enticing once you get there. And either way, they are supposed to pay back to the country, because it's a bond agreement, and that needs to be honored. And the other thing with public account is that many governmental projects that are not completed are still on the books as losses, and that also sometimes can inflate the value. So if you choose the likes of, let's say, Koforidua, this hospital expansion project, once we've not met the deadline, it will be on the government books as delayed project, and the quantum for that contract will be cited, and that is why sometimes the quantum looks so huge. And I would also plead with the media, when the initial report says 15 billion, and after public account ferreting the data, when it comes down to 6 billion, the media should also report that, after further review, the actual loss to government is 6 billion. We never really enjoy that bit. That one doesn't catch media attention. And I also think that we should be mindful that, yes, I mean, the opposition does a good job in being more thorough, quote unquote, with the government in power. And sometimes we might do it a bit too much because of the political twist on some of these things. But overall, I mean, Public Account Committee is in the interest of the Ghanaian. And I think that many people can also add their input either through committee members when they have doubts or questions, But I think that by and large, we're supposed to stick with the Auditor General's document and not bring foreign material. And of course, public interest questions are also very important, especially when it came to sports. I mean, I think some forgot about his stadium question, which was also very, for me, I thought that was very good in the sense that why stop sports for church programs or entertainment when
the minister said he wasn't aware.
Yes, yeah, I mean, when the true purpose for the stadium is to groom talents in this country. So that was, I mean, I'll give him a very solid plus for that, because I really think that, you know, our priorities sometimes can be really off in this country. And I think that over this last 3 years, government has spent a lot on stadiums. And if we're making a case for enhancing our stadia, and we, instead of using it for sports, we're using it for other programs. I mean, nothing against Stoneboy, nothing against Shatawale, you know.
Well, stadiums are multi-purpose.
I know,
all over the world, stadiums, the stadia are used for.
Wembley is used for sports.
However, it will be sacrilegious for organizers to say that the place is not available for the primary
use
function of the place.
And in that case, I think it was a serious sports game.
Yeah, Randy, 1 month.
Randy, we had to play the traditional Gandeba, Gandebi between Heart of Oak and Olympics in Kumasi.
And that
a Gandebi played in Kumasi. I mean,
that was, you know, I mean.
But look, I thought you would say something about the point I made on the fact that leadership in the executive is critical. Using John Mahama's leadership under Bas Banding against what we're seeing now. I mean, you could just disagree with me, but or add more flesh to it. But ultimate leadership would show the country that the leader at the top, the president, his action, is he fighting corruption or is he joining corruption to fight those who are fighting corruption?
So you want me to support you in that?
No, I'm just saying what you. I thought you share a view on it, you know. But yeah, well, I mean, you're very objective. So
I think you have a strong point in the sense that when we have done our work, the onus is on the executive to take certain actions, and I think that certainly ought to be looked at. You know, so that sometimes you can even clearly wonder why some people still hold their positions. You know, and you know, for lack of a better word, I think we need to do more in terms of being responsive when the Public Account Committee does what we do. And we are in the role of an accountant. I mean, you know, an accountant can advise the company management, and if the management chooses not to do, what can the accountant do? Very little. And we will do our job as deemed fit, and we have the Constitution to guide us, and I think that we know where our limitations are, and the executive ought to also do the needful thing as and when things come up. And I must say that I think by and large, you know, there's been somewhat of some lapses, I mean, I think, because of maybe delay in the executive response or delay in taking action. And I think for all we love to say, sometimes delayed justice is unfair. And I think that, you know, we need to be also guided by the fact that the executive also sometimes has more detail than we may have in terms of the background or you know, for lack of a better word, you know, the ties and the reasons for the inactivities or the activities of the executive. But I must say, I mean, I think that the CEOs have been responsive many times when we've pointed out some things to them, which is commendable, and will continue. I mean, we're not there to really be adversarial. We're there to all help the Ghanaian system in terms of, you know, accounting to the people in all fairness and being very transparent to Ghanaians in terms of how governmental monies are being used, or let me say our taxpayers' money are being used. And I think that the more light we shed on Public Accounts Committee, the more we help Ghanaians appreciate how government, contracting and monies are being utilized, and then for them to appreciate that overall, I think that the quantum of leakages somewhat has dropped, and I think that also the leverage that people had to, quote unquote, steal state funds have also reduced. I mean, because of the many checks and balances. So in summary, bit ferret for MDAs. I mean, it's been a very serious committee, and today we'll be also sitting on the likes of, I think, NEDCO and things like that, and we encourage many Ghanaians to watch it. It's a bit boring until one or two instances blow up, but public accounts is the place to be if you want to see how government money is being really used.
All right, we'll take a break. We're back shortly.
Yes.
So many styles to choose, but there's only one sure way to pay. Momo.
MTN.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ambedu.
Good afternoon, Mr. Asari.
How is business doing?
My business is collapsing.
Why is your business collapsing?
I sold my products and services to my clients on credit, and my debtors are not paying their debts.
Have you heard of Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company operating in all the 16 regions of Ghana?
Not at all.
Mr. Ambedu, all you need to do is to contact them on their customer service line. I recommend Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company to financial institutions, businessmen and businesswomen, other companies, and also individuals. Rosic Consult has 98.4% debt recovery rate. We have professional debt recovery managers. You are assured of swift debt recovery. No recovery, no commission. For Rosic Consult Limited, no more write-offs. And we pre-finance the recovery ourselves.
Star Assurance, your solid partner.
Hello, my friends. My name is Calcate Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Calcates. Happy smile.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say, but as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
To help meet your business and private printing needs successfully, we have just the right products and services. At Appointed Time Printing Limited, we specialize in digital printing, offset printing, packaging and security printing. Our innovative designs and complete professional touch on our print products such as posters, flyers, brochures, magazines, poll cards and any other print solution of your choice ensure that our customers are always happily connected to their audience. With our security printing section, our clients are assured of a highly secured and confidential work process from start to finish. At Appointed Time, our prices are very competitive. Locate us at the old GNTC building near Swansea Shopping Arcade, Accra. Contact us on 0501 454165, 0501 454167. Appointed Time Printing Limited. Our printing is the solution.
We are back bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bet. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the Partial Daily Jackpot.
You always get way more with Betway.
For over 20 years of serving the world with herbal and alternative medicine, we've been successful in treating complicated medical conditions with a perfect combination of herbal and alternative methods of treatment like homeopathy, naturopathy, reflexology, and many more. We deliver excellent and effective service to people from all walks of life through scientific and traditional means. We have a well-equipped laboratory with advanced diagnostic and treatment devices to help detect your illness so we know the right medication to be given. At Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital, we are proud manufacturers of our own herbal medication. Our zeal and passion to save lives with our patients at heart and outstanding achievements since 1996 has won us several awards. That is why we say, go herbal, go Amen. We are located everywhere in all the regions. Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital. Allahu Shafi, God is the healer.
What's up?
How far with your intention?
To be honest, I'm so nervous about starting this new role on Monday.
Oh please, I know you'll be great at it. You should be worried about what benefits they have. Example, do they have health insurance?
I doubt they will have that for internet. But no shaking. I have NHIS already.
As you are on a line, ting.
Ina, look at you. What are you going to do in the office when you can just download the app to register for an NHIS membership?
Yes, my people. You heard right. You can now download and register your membership on my NHIS app. No long queues or tedious paperwork. All you need is your Ghana card to register for yourself and for others. Once you register, you get a new digital NHIS card on your phone. My NHIS app gives you access to credentialed health facilities and services across the country. NHIS covers over 95% of disease conditions in Ghana. Access to healthcare just got easier.
Now let me sign up quickly. Please, Seth, I'm starting work next month.
So anybody who is asking 170 questions, you know that he's not serious. And therefore, we shall ignore the 170 questions because he's not serious. Because he's talking about things that have happened.
We'll raise them. You know, economic questions don't change over time. So he can answer the same questions. He posed them. He's the great economist. He will be able to answer them. He's there now. So he should be able to answer it. As I said, economic questions don't change over time. The same questions, maybe the answer will change. He will offer us the responses.
So you want him to answer his own questions, the 77 questions he posed to you?
Well, so they are not on-scene questions for him, so he should be able to answer because you've seen the questions, so it's not. No, I think that there are serious issues in the economy that we need to tackle. It is not the grandstanding, and that is important. It is getting the serious issues resolved, and we'll raise them. You know, economic questions don't change over time. So he can answer the same questions. He posed them. He's the great economist. He will be able to answer them. He's there now. So he should be able to answer it. As I said, economic questions don't change over time. The same questions, maybe the answer will change. He will offer us the responses.
So you want him to answer his own questions, the 77 questions he posed to you?
Well, so they are not on-scene questions for him, so he should be able to answer because you've seen the questions, so it's not. No, I think that there are serious issues in the economy that we need to tackle. It is not the grandstanding, and that is important. It is getting the serious issues resolved, and we'll raise them. You know, economic questions don't change over time. So he can answer the same questions. He posed them. He's the great economist.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Still with me on the show, I have Dr. Admaku Kisi and Samuel Nate George. Now, what does wealth mean to you? Do you want to live like a tycoon? Remember, I've got the Mullah, got the power. Ghana's newest lottery game draws live on Adom TV at 9 a.m., 12 noon, and 6 p.m. daily. Now, pick up your phones, tablets, and computers and download the GamePack Games app on Play Store. You can also play on the website www.gamepackgames.com or by dialing *946# on all networks. Just choose 4 numbers from 0 to 9. It's easy to play and easy to win. Charlie, make we play this game and make some moolah. Nobody beats our odds in Ghana. GamePack Games, more moolah, more power. This game is regulated by a National Lottery Authority and is not for persons under the age of 18. Play responsibly. And ISOCO, Betway's cash out just go way better. The enhanced early partial and auto cash out feature lets you cash your bets out early. Cash out a portion of your ongoing bets or even set your bets to cash out automatically. All this to give you way more control over every thrilling bet you place. Sign up today at betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. And this is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. It's not for persons under the age of 18. Betway, get way more. And charcoal has essential medicinal properties that help remove toxins from our bodies. The natural absorptive property of charcoal helps to remove the bacteria that produces bad breath in the mouth, hence giving you a fresh breath. Kel Charcoal toothpaste has been formulated and produced under strict hygienic conditions with all the necessary production protocols and has been approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. Constant use of Kel Charcoal toothpaste gives you a good fresh breath, whiter teeth, reduces dental plaque, makes the gum healthy and strong, prevents cavity, upset stomach, hangover, and so on. Kel Charcoal toothpaste is recommended for adults and children from 6 years. Kel Charcoal toothpaste for white teeth and fresh breath all day long. This is another quality product from Samara Company Limited. Kel Charcoal toothpaste, happy, smile. And Kingdom Home Real Estate provides quality but affordable housing facilities for sale. And these facilities are located at the serene environment of Ekwapime, Krupon, and Ebri, where there are very good weather conditions. They are just a 30-minute drive from Accra and provide a modern touch of comfort. They also provide high standard security service plus CCTV, standby generators, constant water supply and electricity. They're surrounded by lovely tourist sites such as the Bri Botanical Garden, Boti Falls, Safari Valley Resort, etc. Pay 70% upfront and spread the remaining 30% over a 2-year period with no interest payment. You can locate the Bri properties close to the Bri Girls School and the Krupon right after Latte Junction. You can also reach them on 0559 761144, 0555 621 611. you can check out their website on www.kingdomhomerealestates.com and also their Facebook page. Now, Doc, I've not heard you on the lecture by the Vice President.
Oh.
At UPSA.
Yes.
What do you make? I've been reading an interesting article by Dr. Kwachi of the. He used to be with the IEA.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Professor John Kwachi. He has quite an interesting one. It says, by mere speech, turning an impossibility into a possibility as a question is posed. And he's actually segmented them. He has one on the economic record, the defense of Bank of Ghana, his contribution as VIP, vision, inclusiveness, fiscal discipline, taxes, cost of living, natural resource, digitization and 24-hour economy. A very interesting part of Dr. Kwachi's speech. I think people should read that. On corruption, national development plan, constitutional amendments, and he also has unanswered questions. And then he has a conclusion. All right. I don't know which angles you want to take that from.
Well, I think that one, the Vice President, or shall I say, our candidate for 2024, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
In fact, he's still with the IEA. He's the Director of Research at the IEA.
Beautiful. He made a very strong case, and I think one key thing he wanted Ghanaians to know was the fact that he's coming with a different vision for the country, and he was under the leadership of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, or he's been under the leadership of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and he has a vision of his own that he's coming to execute. And there are numerous examples in life where many kings, their prince or princesses had entirely different visions from their own father. So this is a case scenario, and he's reminding Ghanaians that though he's been under the leadership of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he will be a different version or a different person altogether. And I have cited on many radio, TV stations that the cabinet that will be working with Vice President, if he's elected, will be different from the current cabinet. And you know, the engine for governance is the cabinet. And I believe that if Ghanaians should give him that opportunity, we'll see something quite at variance from what we have now. And this is based on the entirety of the document he presented that day. And I also must add that for once, I was happy to see that the flag bearer or our candidate had a varying opinion from the current establishment, especially with regards to e-levy. And I felt so much at home because I was also not necessarily for e-levy within the majority caucus, but we went with what the majority decided on. So I was so much at home when I realized that, oh, something that I was not for, the Vice President also is not for. And that made me very happy, you know, that day.
How will you respond to a Ghanaian who says that you are the Vice President of the Republic? You consider e-levy and some other taxes imposed on me by your government, the government you serve as Vice President.
Correct.
As punitive. And you're asking me to continue paying those taxes for another 10 months as you continue to be Vice President. And that I should vote for you. And after I've endured the thing for 10 months, something imposed by your party and your government, of which you are Vice President, you're sitting Vice President. And then after 10 months, when I vote for you, come and remove it.
You see, the thing is that...
How does that sound to any right-thinking person?
Well, one thing we need to bear in mind is that these decisions, when they are taken, just like with us, the majority caucus, a certain number of us might be in agreement or not in agreement. But when and that's democracy. When a majority say we should go that way, if you're at variance, you still have to go with it. And I can appreciate the fact that the vice president has...
The point I'm making is that... The point I'm making is that for all the things that you consider positive, it's a good reason you're telling me that your party, the government, has done so well, and that I should look at those things and vote for you.
Correct.
For all the things that are negative, that are causing me pain and suffering, you're telling me that I should endure it for another 10 months whilst you're vice president. No, and that when you are voted into office, you will change that. You don't believe in the parts that are causing me pain, suffering, and perhaps even hunger.
Well, I almost immediately can appreciate where Ghanaians are with regards to his statement and the fact that what we're experiencing is totally different. I can appreciate that, but I also think that, if and when he becomes the main man or the man at the helm of affairs, his powers are increased and he can, as it were, use a veto, which he can't use now as a vice president. And I think that the veto-ness or the veto powerness is the key thing, is the difference between being the chairman and the vice chair. And I believe that, I think, borrowing from Mahama himself, he said, did he say a co-driver or spare driver? So using John Mahama's analogy of, being a spare driver, it still comes back to the same thing that spare drivers drive on Sundays mostly.
A spare driver is a qualified driver.
They drive mostly on Sundays.
But they are qualified drivers.
But they don't have the authority to say that I'll go long trek or short trek. The driver for the car would be the one to do that. So I think that this is something that's not new to Ghanaians. The fact that the NDC itself touted
in fact, the vice president is a spare driver, not a mate.
Yes. Okay. Agreed. But the fact that the NDC touted this to us, Ghanaians, when we wanted Mahama, when he was vice, to become president, they touted that firmly.
But I never
there's a difference.
I never heard Mahama say that.
Oh, that video.
No, hold on. No, I never heard Mahama say that the government of which I'm vice president has imposed A, B, C hardship on you. If you vote for me to become president, because I'm spare driver, when I become the main driver, I will remove them.
No, but you see, Mahama came under a different situation.
No, you don't get the point I'm making.
But you get my point.
Yes, I get it.
He became president.
No, I get it. I'm just saying that it is not about
so he was not campaigning.
It's not about whether you refer to yourself as a spare driver or a mate. But for me, the key thing is that I know these things are causing you hardship, but I don't support them. But those ones, I don't support them. I have a mind of my own. So endure it for 10 months, whilst I also continue in my position. When I become president, I'll remove those ones for you, because I'm not in a position to convince my president that these things are unbearable, they bring untold hardship on our people, and we should not continue in that direction.
I'm almost going to assume that the vice president was also instrumental in this VAT 15% being, sort of rescinded. I'm almost of the opinion, and I believe that moving forward, between now and December, we'll see how instrumental he'll be in terms of reducing the burden on Ghanaians. And I really think that in the next 10 months...
Doc, are you suggesting that when these things were discussed at Cabinet,
yes,
when Cabinet instructed the finance minister to send these things to Parliament, he could not do that? It is only when he has announced his presidential bid that he will be able to do it.
I recently saw Kate Jemfua, the women organizer for the party, state categorically that there were many instances that the vice president was vehement, that he didn't support, but because the majority carried, he was left out. And I see that from an administrative, managerial standpoint, that happens. I've always been of the view, and hear me out, that Judas Iscariot was taken off because of you know, the powers they thought he had as the finance minister for the church. And that same narrative, sometimes when you're at variance, you know, you suffer, you know, certain consequences. So in that case, looking at what Kate Jemfua has said with regards to Bawumia and the fact that he did not support these things.
Why do we have surrogates saying these things and not the man himself or those who work officially in his office? Because you have Kofi Bento pushing this, you have Kate Jemfua pushing this. None of them sit in cabinet. None of them. Hold on. Okay. None of them is the vice president. Okay. None of them works in his office. Okay. So why is the vice president himself? Because you see, here on this program on Friday, Nana Kumia kept making the point that where did Dr. Bawumia distance himself from Akufo-Addo? Where did he say that in his speech? Where is the evidence? I hope you understand what I'm saying. Okay. Yet you have people who you might consider surrogates, then making that case in the public space.
Proxy case making.
Yes. Meanwhile, the man himself. Okay. The man himself, or the people who work in his office.
Then I'm not even qualified to talk about.
You don't get the point I'm making. So you have a situation where when it comes to himself, he will make the case. Because Nana Kumia asked me. Where in his statement did he distance himself from Nana Akufo-Addo or the government on any issue? And my point was that by raising those tax handles, correct, and saying that he will scrap them, for me, is where he distances himself. For me, is where he disagrees. He disagrees and he makes the point that, I mean, they are not right taxes and all that.
And even when he says he's his own man, I think that even is bold enough.
Do you get the point I'm making? So you have a situation where it is surrogates, quote and unquote, who are out there telling us that he disagreed, he was opposed, he was not listened to.
Well, I mean,
in fact, one has even been bold enough to say that in the first term he was listened to. That's why things were good.
Before COVID.
He was listened to before COVID. Then after COVID, things affected people, and they decided not to listen again. They had an appreciation problem.
Eureka moment.
Yes. So first term, where they say indicators are good, he was listened to. Well, second term, when there are struggles, he wasn't listened to.
Well, I think
you are the doctor. I don't know if COVID also affects. You are me.
I think that invariably, I think that Ghanaians have the opportunity to take the vice president's word as it is, and to appreciate, like I said, that he's going to be a man of his own. And I think that I believe that because I've seen fathers and children act totally different when one took over. And I believe that even in kinship, as you know.
In fact, the Honorable Jinapo has confirmed to me that on my program, I think he was here with Gideon, Dr. Gideon Boaku. Okay. And Dr. Boaku confirmed that the Vice President supports e-levy on the show. It was JJ and Dr. Gideon Boaku on the show, and the issue came up.
Well, I mean, we're hearing something different, but and I'll take.
It says that. So
I'll take his word now.
It says so. The Vice President, who's head of economic management, he cannot convince his own president or government to abolish these draconian taxes, but wants Ghanaians to believe he can convince the IMF when he becomes president.
Well, that's a strong point, but the key thing here is that I believe that once he's a man of his own and he has veto powers, then we can really appreciate he himself and what he stands for. And I think that he's made a very strong case to Ghanaians, not just on the e-levy, but all these other taxes. And I think it comes back to that theme of production over taxation, which is what Bawumia stands for. And I also like the fact that he appeals to a lot of the youth, and the youth will rally behind him in terms of the 2024 elections. And I firmly believe that he's the man of destiny, as John Kufuor has stated categorically that he's the man of destiny. Okay. So I'll leave it.
You recall that in the about some 2-3 minutes ago, I said that a vice president is a spare driver and not a mate.
Well, I mean,
and you agreed. Okay. So
Mark Kojo Buafu, who's watching us in the States. And Mark, thanks for always waking up that early to watch us. He sent me something.
Okay.
That I think it brings an intellectual yet a very simple, easy to understand.
Philosophical.
On it says, a spare driver and a driver's mate are two different roles, although they both support the main driver. Spare driver, a backup driver,
in case,
who takes over driving duties when the primary driver needs rest or is unable to drive. Typically has the same level of training and licensing as the primary driver. May drive the vehicle for extended periods or take over in emergency situations. Driver's mate, assist the primary driver with tasks such as loading and unloading cargo, navigating and communicating with customers. May not have the same level of driving training or licensing as the primary driver. Primarily helps with non-driving tasks, freeing up the driver to focus on driving. In summary, a spare driver is a backup driver who can take over driving duties, while a driver's mate assists with non-driving tasks to support the primary driver.
Some guys even made a joke that is the mate that even collects the money. I mean, they were saying that we've not really enjoyed Trotro, because if you've enjoyed Trotro, it's the mate that is actually, taking the money and then would hand off some to the driver. I mean, there's so many interesting things, but I think I like his assessment in simple terms.
Sam, let me bring you in.
Randy, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is not just dishonest, but he's corrupt and untruthful. I don't know how to camouflage my words. He is not just dishonest.
What does corruption got to do? What does corruption got to do with? What has corruption got to do with what we are discussing? What does corruption got to do?
Corruption is not just when you steal money.
And if you say he is corrupt, what do you mean?
Corruption is not just only when the person dips their hand in the public purse.
But
corruption of character is also corruption. When you are not a man of integrity, when you are not a man whose words can be taken at face value. Randy, let me read what Dr. Bawumia says about himself on his own campaign website, bawumia220.com. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. He chairs the Economic Management Team, which is broadly responsible for shaping the government's policy and guiding their implementation. So he is not the man he paints at the lecture, that he only gives advice. On his own campaign website, he says he shapes government policy like e-levy, like bet tax, like emission tax, and then guides the implementation. And to even show you how he guided the implementation, that's how Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah came to tell us in the City Newsroom interview that, the man was so instrumental in it that even the lifeline threshold, he was the one who inserted it in his implementation. So if that same person today comes to tell you that, I'm just a mate.
Does that not confirm what you just said about Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah? That does not confirm that indeed the vice president was against e-levy.
No.
Just hold on a minute. That to the extent that he disagreed with it, but realized that his president and his government were bent on going ahead with it, he had to then influence the legislation by adding the lifeline, so that at least if they are so bent on going ahead, there will at least be some cushion.
Andy, no. You see, you can't blow hot and cold. If I am for something, I am for it. It's like you telling me that because I know that some people are saying human rights, so my position on LGBTQ, I would say that I don't like gays, but I like lesbians.
No, but in your legislation,
yes.
The advocacy by some of your colleagues and even people in civil society has also in a bit changed many of the original positions that you had. And you would say that it's made it better.
Not fundamentally,
and a bit accommodating.
Maybe you've looked at sentencing. But Randy, that doesn't take away the fact that Bawumia's own words and his inability to voice his disapproval for it, and the reports from several other persons who sit in cabinet. Randy, I don't sit in cabinet. You don't sit in cabinet. You don't sit in cabinet.
What you read from his page suffices. You don't. If you chair a subcommittee which is only advisory, you don't describe your role in this thing.
You shape, and this is not me saying. This is the man's own website that he's using to campaign for 2020.
In fact, there's a video I showed.
So you're reading from.
It's Bawumia.com, Bawumia 2024.
It's actually there.
No, I'm impressed.
I showed Nana
you're not understanding me. I'm happy to see.
I showed Nana Akume a video. I played a video last week, and I asked him what that meant. Maybe I'll play it again.
Okay.
You know how.
No, but I'm happy to know that Sam George reads Bawumia's website.
Okay, all right.
That should be headline.
Okay, so let's just watch this video.
Randy, I just started.
Just 30 seconds. It's a 30-second video. I think you'll provide some context. Okay. Don't worry.
So, what does the data say about the state of our economy after 8 years of economic management under the NDC, with President John Mahama in charge as the head of the economic management team for 4 years and president for another 4? Mr. Chairman.
But so that was the vice president.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Randy, the vice president in that tape you just played says that we should judge John Mahama's performance for 4 years as head of economic management team. But the same vice president at UPSA last week says that we can't judge his performance for 7 years as head of economic management team.
Is only advisory.
Because it was
only
only
a subcommittee.
But has the function of the EMT changed from the NDC time to the MPP administration? But Randy, again, when I spoke about corruption and the corruption of the person's character and how you can't take his word for it because he's untruthful, this is the same person who was sold to us. Why did Nanado pick Bawumia above and ahead of all the stalwarts in the NPP? He told us Bawumia had been at the Bank of Ghana. He understood where the money was. He understood the finances of our country. And so he was bringing him as an economic whiz kid. And if you remember, there was that rally when Nanado outlawed him and said, this is an economic whiz kid. Now the economic whiz kid has moved away from economics and has made himself an IT guru boy.
Because it's the
fighting with the Minister for Communications and Digitalization for her role. In fact, the Vice President has reduced himself to a Minister of State at the Ministry of Communication and Digitalization. And you see, Rani, Bawumia, and by extension, you asked Honorable Adomako how he felt. And I did a post about it, asking my colleagues on the MPP side how intelligent or how well they felt sitting in that room and clapping their hands for Bawumia when he said he was going to scrap 11. The brawl you talk about that happened where you saw my good friend and brother Eves Ninoy. You know, on that day, the Minister for Youth and Sports, Muhammad Yusuf, was cut. He needed almost 6 stitches, cut in his face, a punch. So he nearly lost his eye.
Who threw the punch? You?
No, it wasn't me.
One of the NDC folks.
Okay.
I don't know who threw the punch.
Battery and assault.
But his eye was cut, fighting for E-Levy. And the same minister with the scar on his face is sitting in the room, and you are telling him that the E-Levy you sent him to nearly lose an eye for, you are going to scrap it, and he's sitting there and clapping. It was after one of those fights that took us late into the night that our own friend and brother, Basua, who had BP, stayed up till 1 a.m. because we're battling these things in Parliament, went home, slept, and didn't wake up. Basua lost his life. A father. His children have been left fatherless. His wife is now a widow because of E-Levy and the fight for it. His BP went high, he slept, never woke up. Now you come and stand there and say, I am not part of it. And you think that we should take such a person seriously in this country? Randy, Bawumia's own words, and when you take his speech is laden with untruths, outright lies, how Bawumia can look Ghanaians in the face and say that his government has laid more fiber optic cables than any other person beats my imagination. Randy, he is talking about licensing. No, Metro TV is a private entity. You run a media business, and so you buy cars. It's like the CEO of DVLA waking up and saying that I've done better than Metro TV because I've licensed 1,000 cars this January, and Metro has bought only 5 cars. The cars you license are there for you.
But I facilitated it.
No.
I created a regime to enable the cars be available.
Randy, you didn't bring DVLA in. The licensing of fiber optics did not start with Bawumia. And look, let me settle this once and for all. Because Randy, at least in this country, if you don't like Sam George Kai, you know that when it comes to certain things in communications, I know my way around. Randy, I will use your platform to give you the information on all the fiber optic cables in Ghana. It's not a national security risk. Terrestrial fiber, we have both terrestrial and submarine. Now, terrestrial fiber, Vodafone Ghana, they got their license issued on the 20th of March. And Randy, I'll need you to help me take note of the dates. Vodafone Ghana, 20th of March 2015. Which party was that? NDC. Glow Mobile, 29th January 2009. And if anybody from Joe Anocha, the NCA, or anybody wants to challenge this, they are welcome to a debate. Glow Ghana, 29th January 2009. NDC. Scancom PLC, MTN Ghana, got their license 4th of March 2010. NDC. Comsys Ghana, 6th of February 2004. President Kufuor, MPP. It got renewed on the 19th of March 2018. So that's the first renewal you are seeing. It's not an original license, it's the renewal of their license. Then you go to Internet Solution, 6th of February 2004, the same as Comsys. President Kufuor renewed in July 2019, the second renewal under MPP. But so far, no, under this administration, so far, no new licenses. C Squared got their license on the 20th of May 2016. Again, NDC. Main One got its license 12th of November 2015. Again, NDC. So far, I have given you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 under the NDC, terrestrial companies, and 2 that were registered under President Kufuor and renewed under this government. Now, Spectrum Fiber got its license on the 15th of March 2018 and Ghana Grade 7th May 2018. So these are the only 2 that have been licensed, initial licensing under this government. But even when you look at Spectrum Fiber is a special purpose vehicle between Broad Spectrum and Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, GIF, which was set up by John Mahama. So again, it's terrestrial. Okay. That's why they're doing the Western Corridor Fiber. Now, Ghana Grid Company is what used to be called VRA Tel. They used to have VRA aerial fiber. They only came for their license. So this is where you see. Now we go to submarine. So I've established terrestrial. NDC awarded 5 terrestrial licenses. MPP, even if you add the Kufuor administration, did 4. But under this government, 2. Against John Mahama's 5. Now let's go to submarine cables. Ghana Telecom has what they call Vodafone SAT3. The license was given in 2012. Glow Mobile has Glow One Marine, 2010. Main One has the Main One cable, 2010. Scancom, MTN, they call this the MTN/Wax, 2011. The Dolphin Telecoms Limited has their ETG Ace, 2013. 5 licensed submarine cables in Ghana, all under John Mahama, none under the NPP. Yet, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, after going to mosque and church, now comes to stand on the platform and says that he has given more fiber licenses than anybody. I mean, who is feeding him these untruths? And why, if he is not diligent enough? But you see, Randy, I understand his lack of diligence because he's a mate.
We need to go.
Oh, Randy, let me land on that. Randy, your friend who sent you the thing. You see, John Mahama was vice president. John Mahama referred to himself as what? Spare driver. Bawumia is vice president. He refers to himself as mate. Bawumia started his lecture by saying that he's appearing before the employers for an interview, but he needs to account for what he did. Me, as one of his employers, I am sacking him even today. You know why? If I employ you and give you a job, and after 7 years, you don't even know what your job description is. I employed you, as a spare driver, and you have been working as a mate. Because Randy, and you see what your friend sent you, Mark sent you. You can see it clearly in a state institution called STC. Nana Komia's STC. If you board STC from Accra to Tamale, Nana Komia has put 2 drivers in that STC bus. One drives from Accra to Techiman. Then another drives from Techiman to Tamale. But in that same bus, they have a mate. They call it conductor. He ensures that luggage is packed well. Now the mate that Nana Komia puts in the STC bus, his eyes are not tested. He's not tested to see say we trabi. He doesn't need to have a license from DVLA. But the driver and the spare driver, Nana Komia ensures that they have not drank alcohol. He ensures that their eyes are in good working condition. He ensures that they both have the requisite licensing from DVLA. So even Nana Komia establishes the difference between a spare driver and a conductor or a mate in STC. Now we have employed Nanado as driver, employed Bawumia as spare driver. And Nana Bawumia has, instead of working as a spare driver for 7 years, has been working as a mate. No wonder he's more interested in Chobo.
All right, okay. So
than in delivering the job.
That's it. So that would be. Thanks, gentlemen, for joining me, and go continue in Parliament. Yeah. You're sitting today, right?
Yeah, even
they are calling us public accounts. Ministry of Finance is there. I have a question for
Ministry of Finance.
Yes, they are there, and then Energy is also coming.
You have a question?
Yes, public interest.
What's the question?
So if I say it here, they will get the week before.
So she has to prepare.
No, it's public interest.
Oh,
I was just going to ask Abina that. But Abina, I have evidence that you signed a letter to Parliament telling us that the president has directed that he will no longer award contracts to persons above the age of 60 because you must retire. But I have at least 3 different letters where you, the same Abina, have signed letters giving contracts to people above the age of 60. What special skill do they have that is in short demand?
All right, so Abina, you have a scoop. You have a scoop. Thanks, gentlemen. That's next GMG Trends.
MTN.
Customer.
Nadavena minka me papa.
What you saying?
Me try 10 Ghana.
10 Ghana.
10 Ghana cedis.
No dia. Send now benya.
10 Ghana cedis no. Me dia. Me 54,000 Ghana cedis.
54,000.
540 million.
Yeah, the one who na me try me die is kase.
Yeah. And then I get it na when. Na wa boki. Draw no na sase no eh. Mami me volume.
Customer. One of our daily lucky winners. Dial *946# to play now. Or you can also play online at www.gamepackgames.com. Game Park is regulated by the National Lottery Authority.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Time to check out what is trending on social media with Desi,
Starboy, that's it.
Good
What's
morning.
going on? Good morning.
Yeah. E-Levy, I saw E-Levy trending this morning on Twitter as had a conversation earlier after Dr. Bawumia gave that speech last week. A lot has come out of it, and especially with the E-Levy, people are saying that I'll just show some of it. But for me, the most important, okay, so that's it on your screen, that any politician promising to get rid of E-Levy should be asked further questions, because I don't think it's going to be a simple matter. One, how will they replace the revenue that will be lost? And two, in what frame do they expect to get rid of it? First 100 days, first, second year? Well, that's a question from Black Stars fan, Fui T. Jonah says that the E-Levy cake is a typical example of you can't eat your cake and have it. Many government appointees said Dr. Bawumia was instrumental in drafting the E-Levy and was even the guest of honor at the E-Levy cake party. Ah, okay. Dr. Selby says Dr. Bawumia was happy with the passage of the E-Levy. He can't turn around to tell us he wasn't. Ghanaians don't trust him. We can't vote for him to be president. No, never. Okay. That's from Dr. Selby also. Let me read the final one there. This one says that, so after the massive E-Levy cake and celebration, the mastermind behind it, putting in the vice president handle, says that is now telling Ghanaians that he will abolish the same tax that he has celebrated. Is it that politicians always feel like we are so mad that we can listen to everything they say? Eh? Okay, so those are some of the comments about the E-Levy coming in. But of course, the AFCON brought all the drama, all the nice stuff. But Doc, I predicted, I wanted Nigeria to get to the final, and I wanted them to lose. And my request was granted by the Lord Almighty. And so we've been mourning Nigeria for, well, today's day 3. We started on Saturday.
Have they asked you to mourn them?
Oh, the banter on Twitter, Doc. Hi.
Oh my, you go there.
Heidi's had a very busy week here in Saudi Arabia. He's had dinner with many princes and very important people, and he just...
Oh my God, what the heck? What did Titus just... I can't believe what I just saw.
All right, Doc, so there's a Gen Z language called cook.
Huh?
Cook. Like we are cooking.
C-O-O-K.
Yes. We are trolling you proper. So if you saw there was the eagle that they are used to prepare, I mean, in the trolling sense.
Ah, they were grilling.
So we are grilling and cooking.
Oh.
We are feasting. You see, they have to take the generator back.
So,
oh, this is just for banter. We beg you. When we left the group stage, what they did to us on Twitter. So just when the referee was about to go, like 5 minutes, people were tweeting, Ghanaians, get ready, get your charges. The referee closed no agenda straight.
But the AFCON and Ivorian victory, it's made a certain song, Ivorian song and dance very popular.
Look, I got it for you.
Okay.
I got it for you. So please, play me that song.
Your pastors, are they watching?
When you move. The title of the song is Coup de Mateur.
Coup de Mateur.
Yes, I don't know the meaning.
Okay. By an Ivorian musician.
Yes.
Coup de Mateur.
So that's unofficially the song for the AFCON.
Okay.
So there was an official song, and from nowhere, this one came in. Hey! And it's, I'll show you the first one. I have to say yes.
Well, you can't sit and dance it. You have to stand. You can't sit.
When you're close, I'll do that.
Okay.
So, on that note, congratulations to the Ivory Coast for winning the AFCON. Another thing that was
is that as well? Coup de Mateur. Okay.
Yeah.
So Alain Besson, who speaks French, is an IT guru, speaks French.
Okay.
He's giving me the meaning.
Coup is cap.
No, coup could be cap, but it's not. So coup de mater means what they are doing, what you were doing with your waist. That's the meaning. So he just reads, he said coup de mater means hammering.
Hey!
Yes.
I thought it was cap.
So that's pure profane for you.
But the times you don't understand,
in fact, despite what I've said, you still don't understand.
Anyway, could the matter of Charlie Smith, of course, congratulations to the Ivory Coast. They've done superbly
It's turned out to be the official song and dance.
Yeah.
See, that's the Ivorian players after the one.
Yeah, after the one. Seko Fofana there. Yeah, and you see the players and the fans all. I saw Drogba also doing the same. Sunday and Ajono dear.
I think the light skin girls one is the one which has gone really
far.
Yeah,
it's gone really far at the beginning. Okay.
See the mascot too.
Let's continue as a rough.
The All Africa Games mascot, he will also bring a dance.
The Kotoboshi. Oh, okay. Oh, that girl, she falls. She did dance. Guess what? Okay. Anyway, on that note, we are coming back to Ghana. The African Games, Doc, as you said, is beginning very soon. The president today will be commissioning the Boteman. And it's a beautiful place. But, Doc, the way the team did the motorway body, and the roads are like that, you know. So I guess we'll be using the roads to enter Boteman.
Maybe they'll do something.
They'll fix it small. Okay, let's make the road nice, alright, so that they can enter the Boteman with it. Because I think it's at the 18th junction. The Spintex, the other side.
It was on this side.
Yeah.
But they're also doing the roads from the school junction.
Oh,
it goes all that way. So I don't know which routes they will use.
Then just do the motorway, make it go on. Anyway. Also, tomorrow is Vows Day. But the Vows Day, I won't talk about
Chocolate Day.
Chocolate Day. Chocolate Day. Chocolate Day. Anyway. Those who know get. Hey, it's okay. Let me know him because maybe pass some of.
Are you going to?
Doc, I'm working tomorrow.
No, so I'm asking.
No, I'm working tomorrow, Doc.
I was just asking.
I'll work tomorrow.
No, I have an assignment for you. I want to send you to Kumasi to go and work.
No, tomorrow we are doing movie premiere. So I'll be working. I can't go anywhere.
I'm taking you off that schedule.
Oh, Doc.
I'm sending you to Kumasi to go and
work.
Doc, so she will come.
No, I'll be working. Everybody will be working.
But will she come?
Everybody will be working. No manager will allow. No manager will allow. Okay, 14. Anyway, so to save Ghana football. Yesterday I watched the interview Sadiq did with Bridget to 101. Okay. Anyway, on that note.
Are you sitting?
No,
is that you standing?
Find a song for me. Annie sent me the. Annie also sent me the. So Annie knows the meaning.
Eh.
Hey, she just sent it to me.
What did she write?
A stroke, that is master.
That's a definition.
Yes. Master stroke.
Master stroke.
Coded. Coded language. On that note.
You won't dance again.
If they don't play the song, I don't know who to there.
Okay.
All right, so let me give you freestyle. Alexa.
Up next, Metro Sports.
In Ghana is brought to you by